Good morning, Raptor freaks. Lexiot's here. It is Thursday morning, and the Raptors beat the Kevin Durant Phoenix Suns last night in a second night of a back-to-back. Improbable win after getting plane trouble the night before in New York City, coming back from the loss to the Nets in the in-season tournament game, and getting back to Toronto at 4 a.m. yesterday morning. No excuses, no nothing like that. Come with the best effort and kick the shit out of a Western Conference team that is one of the top teams over on that side of the NBA. Wow, wow, and wow. Whole lot of great stuff to talk about. In some ways, that game last night was just laden with amazing highlights, amazing efforts by the Raptors. In particular, the word I'm going to use today that I'm very, very big on is second effort. Second effort, baby. Oh my gosh. Talk about second effort. Second effort from Scotty. Second effort from Precious. Second effort from Pascal. Second effort from Jakob. Just the boards, they miss. They don't get it exactly right. Well, get another rebound and put it back in and make sure it goes in there. In fact, one of the things that I saw last night that Siakam did, I was like, man, he's improved. Because back in the day, Siakam would go flying into the lane and put a layup up, and he'd lose his balance and he'd fall over, and he would not get a second chance shot. It really was kind of like that. He'd go in, he'd throw it up and fall on the ground, and it's like there's no opportunity for Pascal to grab the ball on the rebound and put it back in. Well, last night, there was a play near the end of the game where he kept upright and he did exactly what I just said. And I love that. I love that. The heart, the determination, the energy, the drive, the work that these guys put in on the court last night has to be admirable. I mean, honestly, they had every reason in the world to come out there and shit the bed and play like dogs and just play horrible. It's because of tired. All the excuses they could take, but no, exact opposite. In fact, a rededication to energy, spirit, defense, playing together, playing excellence so that you can beat a top team in the NBA. Oh man, wow, 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 wow. And then you see the job that they did on Devin Booker last night. Holy crap, this guy has been insane lately. This 7-game win streak that the Suns were on, he was just on fire, killing it. And what happened to him last night? You tell me what happened to old Devin Booker. He got that OG-itis. Yeah, yeah, that plumbing company van showed up outside his house. And Kylie and him couldn't flush nothing for a little while because there was no plumbing. No plumbing going. They were cut it off. Cut it off. OG's here. Yeah, you ain't doing shit, bro. It's like the Raptor told OG, man, get that guy from me. And it's like OG's like, yeah, I'm a hitman. I'm gonna do that for you, Raptor. I got you, bro. I'm gonna take this guy out. So good. Kevin returned yesterday. Kevin had not played in a while. This is his first game back with the Suns, and that is a factor, y'all. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Sometimes when big players come back, there's a little bit of a weirdness. It's kind of unbalanced, like it was running so well before that in the win streak. And Kevin comes and he kind of tips the balance of the ecosystem of the Phoenix Suns. And I think that was a little bit of a factor there. He was really good last night. And you could tell he was very upset about losing at the end of the game to us. He had a win streak where he had not lost to us since the NBA Finals when we beat him in the Warriors. He had won in Toronto every single time since he came back until last night. That's awesome. Monica's saying after the game that she heard that he had gone out with Drake then a couple nights before that, because they came in town on Monday and they didn't have to play till Wednesday. So they actually had 2 nights in Toronto before the game. So apparently Drake took Kevin out on Tuesday night, the night before the game. And maybe that was worse than getting a plane at 4 a.m. from Barclays Center in New York to get back to Toronto. They look tired too. When you saw the pictures of the Raptors coming into the game last night, Siakam looked like he had just come away from the pillow. And some of those other guys looked a little bushed, a little out of it. But man, they did not play like it on the court. We saw Mr. Barnes level up once again last night. Oh my gosh. Do you all understand what I've been trying to say for the last 2 years about Scotty? That we don't need another hero. We got that hero on our team, and he is going to elevate his game with energy and winning plays, and we are going to win a lot because of Scotty. Scotty was a huge reason why we won last night with his amazing determination and his credible athleticism. He is just insanely good, y'all. The blocks and everywhere, being everywhere. There's some play that they're putting out on social media right now where he's just everywhere, all over the court, just getting the block, running to get the loose ball, throwing the ball. The guy misses. Oh, he goes and cleans it up and puts it back in the basket. Scotty, you are amazing. You're my hero, bro. And in some ways, you are listening to us because I was like, man, play cleaner, man, play smarter. Well, he went out there and he played cleaner and smarter last night. That's for damn sure he did. Boy, did he play clean and smart last night. All kinds of different ways. I love it, Scott. You are my number one star. Wow. All right, let me start with the comments and then I'll start doing all the regular reaction stuff. Trevor J's in here first. The commissioner, Trevor J Cup is next week. They have all the games for this Las Vegas tournament and all the other stuff. Go Pacers, go Kings, go Pelicans, go let's see who else. Milwaukee, go Milwaukee. That's right. This Trevor J Cup is going to go to a lucky Raptor freak that has the team that wins. Who will it be? Will it be Country Kong? Will it be Paul B? Will it be Michael Borland? Who knows? Kenrick James. It could be you too. Who knows who's going to be? We're going to have to find out which team wins. It'll be interesting to see. Trevor J saying, good morning, Raptors family, after a big win. Yeah, it was a big win. It's one of those wins that makes you feel like breathe in that air. Yes, we can still do this. I'm telling you, man, we can beat any team. We can beat any team in this league. We just have to come correct and we have to play right. We can beat any team in this league. As Leo used to say, I believe the Raptors can beat any team in a 7-game series. Well, I still believe that, especially with the aptitude and amazingness of our coach. Our coach is a really good coach, guys. I'm going to keep saying that right now. And then the fact that we are just gladiators of battle. We have one of the longest, tallest, strongest, most athletic, most talented teams in the league right now. Our starting five, as I've said recently, is one of the best starting fives in the entire NBA on the down low. Nobody's talking about it. It's our bench that sucks. Our starting five has to be so good because our bench is kind of Yeah, it really is like that. Gerald's here. Good to see Naco the Nacho. My very good friend, Gerald. I miss you, man. I hope you're doing really good. Scotty, OG, and Pascal were fantastic. Don't let that distract you from the fact that if Precious don't play, we don't win. The box score does not do his passing justice. There you go. And don't forget Dennis either, guys. Holy crap. All right, let's go over my 5 stars of the game. Right now, Barnes, absolutely sensational. Barnes, you did it, bro. You did it, man. We were so worried about you with your minus 20s and recent losses and just not playing with your head in the game. Well, you did it last night, man. You did it right. You know what? The thing I love that Scotty did was the biggest adjustment was, and it's very cognizant, it's with the coaches. The coaches are thinking the same stuff that we're talking about on this channel. And one of the things was, what the hell are you doing selling for outside, Scotty? And that's what they told him at halftime against the Nets is that, Scotty, why are you selling for outside so much? Go inside. Go inside, young man, and carve out your land. Take it as a settler in the new continent and come in and say, this parcel of land is mine. And take that lane down near the basket and say, that's your parcel of land, Scott. Go annex shit is what I'm saying. That is your land. That's Scotty land. Down there, you go down there and you rule your kingdom. And that's what you did, bro. You went down there and you started ruling around that paint, going in there and doing whatever you wanted to do. I'm telling you, there's a lot of imposter teams in this league that don't have no defense. And boy, do we have a defense. We have a defense so good, it can stop 2 top 50 players in this league at the same time. That is so awesome. It is such a powerful defense we've got. The way we were stymieing them and stuff like that. All right, Scotty, in 38 minutes, 23 points, 7 of 15 shooting. That's great shooting. He hit 1 3. He was perfect at the line, 8 for 8. The Raptors did rededicate themselves at the free throw line last night. And they shot way, way better, 86% from the field as a team. Very, very proud of that. 7 rebounds for Scott, including 2 offensive, which were very good offensive rebounds. 4 assists, 3 blocks, a plus 14 with 23 points. He didn't have any turnovers. Scotty, you played clean, ethical basketball. You played it right. You weren't lazy. You went down to the next to the basket and made a lot of shots close to the basket, and you were all over the court, energy personified. You were going to get that ball when you wanted to go get it. It was your ball. You went and took it. And then you were just all over the court, up and down the court, and just doing amazing things. We saw Scotty do stuff like where he had a play where he just Euro stepped around people and dunked it. We saw Scotty setting other people up. We saw Scotty just taking really, really smart decisions all over the place on our offense. And then on defense, we saw him being a factor. We saw him running in and making crazy blocks out of nowhere. We saw him getting big time rebounds, and we saw him just playing excellent defense along with his guys, OG Precious and Pascal, who he named after the game. He said, look, one of our benefits on this team, Raptors, one of our strengths is our very long, talented defenders. And he said, like, when we guard these guys, we have some really good, like, strength to stop them with OG and Pascal. And then Precious coming off the bench, he just adds to it, is what Scotty said in the press conference after the game. Also, Scotty saying, he took the question of somebody said, Scotty, why do you do so well in fourth quarters? And Scotty said this exactly. I've got that dog in me. That's right, Patrick Beverly. That's right. That's right. Scotty says he has some dog in him. And in some ways, he was showing that last night. A burgeoning dog on the rise in Mr. Scotty Wayne Barnes on the Raptors. And I'm telling you, if you saw the preview of things to come in the future with him last night, you will be very, very happy and have a bright eyes towards a very bright future for the Toronto Raptors franchise. Because that's the damn truth. We have a bright future. And it's just centers around Scotty Wayne Barnes and his continued excellence and just the growth of what he can become. You know, I watched the pregame interviews because I had access to them. And Darko had a very long interview before the game, and he talked about his plans for Scotty. And this is what he said. He said, next summer, I'm going to do an intense workshop with him, and I'm going to try and unlock him so that he can score and be more like Giannis in any kind of open court situation and just all kinds of different ways how to score with going to the basket. So in some ways, Darko's long-term goal is to unlock Scotty as a threat in the open court, full court, and help him learn how to finish through traffic with Giannis kind of stuff. So that was very interesting to me, that Darko's long-term goal, in some ways, he's saying he won't be able to install this during the season. But when he gets the offseason next year, he has a whole plan already for Scotty on how he wants to elevate him and help him get to higher and higher levels as a player in this league. I'm telling you, we got the right coach and we got the right young superstar, that this is a very interesting pairing, and that there is a lot that can be like things that you wouldn't even believe that could happen with Scotty. Things that you wouldn't even believe when we drafted him over Jalen Suggs. Coming up with him, like, seriously, stuff that you're like, well, he could be really good. But then you know what? He could be really, really good, is what I'm saying right now. Seriously, holy crap. My second star of the game is Jakob Poeltl. Jakob continues to play excellent, perfect basketball himself. 8 of 9 from the field. Once again, his field goal percentage is insane. It's like somebody on Twitter last night described him as like that warm, comfy blanket that keeps you warm when it's cold outside. That is what Poeltl is giving to Raptors fans right now. 17 points on 8 of 9 shooting. He did not have a double-double, only 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block. But yeah, Poeltl's just awesome. Like, the thing about Poeltl is we're seeing really badass defense by him, really good rebounding, just paint presence. You know, there's not ever like guys coming at our rim and just like dunking it on us. He's meeting them with a challenge, and quite often he's blocking people cleanly when they try and come at our rim, when they're trying to score on us. And I love that. I love that Jakob is ready to jump up in the challenge, and quite often he defends the goal, and nobody can score on him. He is so good right now. He's playing at a high level. Some people have been saying that Jakob Poeltl is a top 10 center in this league, and I can't disagree with that. That this man is one of the best centers in the league, at least for how efficient he is, how good at shooting he's doing right now. And like just in general, that passing and the way he's doing stuff, they're playing off of him, is there's so much to like about what's happening with Jakob. And if you can see past his deficiencies as far as his free throw percentage and his limited range, you see just how vital and important and amazing he is with us on our team. And man, I love you, Jakob. You're amazing, bro. And you just keep going the way you're doing it, man. It's not like he has to do too much flashy. He just does what he does with his lunch pail. And that is such badass stuff. It really helps us a lot towards winning. His presence, him being here, is absolutely essential for the Raptors to be doing what they're doing right now. Having a true center is mattered. It really has. My third star of the game is Anunoby. Anunoby really didn't score a whole lot, but he had some key threes at different times. There was that one three late in the game where I was like, yeah, he don't shoot to miss. You know, when OG shoots like that and he makes a three out of the blue and it's just a big one, and we're like, yes, OG for three. You know, it really does make me think of that Boston series in the bubble where he said, I don't shoot to miss, because it is just like that. It's like OG's not out there trying to miss. And when he makes those threes and they're big, huge key threes, it's awesome. Of course, OG's main contribution in this game is the wrapping up of Devin Booker. And he was playing Durant at times too last night. They're kind of switching around on different people. OG on Devin in the first half and playing more on Kevin in the second half. But OG's just amazing. He's so down to earth. And when he talks about it after the game, he's so funny. He's like, yeah, Kevin's one of the greatest scorers ever. He's really hard to beat. Yeah. Yeah, I like playing against him. You know, he's saying stuff like that. You know how OG is. And he's so funny when he's talking about like shutting people down. Because some people would be, if they had his abilities and the way he does it, they would be more braggadocio. You know, like just imagine if Patrick Beverly was as good a defender as OG. What the fuck kind of shit would he be saying out of his mouth? Talking so much trash because he feels like he could. I'm so glad OG's not like that. OG's just like James Worthy. He's a silent assassin. James Worthy never talked trash on the court ever for the Lakers. He just killed people. He killed them. Well, that's kind of what OG is. He just kills people with niceness, and he kills them by not letting them score ever. OG, you're such a badass. I love you so much, man. And we need to keep him at all costs. 34 minutes, 5 of 10 from the field, 3 of 5 from three. I love that. He did miss his only free throw attempt. 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 steals, 1 block, no turnovers, a +1 with 13 points. You know, the 13 points, I don't care. He could score more. That'd be great. But man, what great defense. I mean, you go look at Booker's line from last night, and you're just like, holy crap. Yeah, OG was here. That's all you can say. Like, add Devin Booker to the list of OG victims this year and accumulate this list and give it to the NBA press at the end of the year and say, look, how is this man not a defensive player of the year? Look at the stats of what he's done to people like Devin Booker. Who else has he killed this year? He's killed Giannis, I'm sure, at one point. He killed Luka. He's killed all the great best players in this league and shut them down. You need to make him Defensive Player of the Year, NBA. I'm sorry. If we have a winning record and we are a player in the postseason this year, y'all need to give this to OG, because 2 of 12 for Booker last night, 0 of 4 from 3. He had 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 turnovers, a -15 with 8 points. They held that man to 8 points, and he's been revved up and scoring like 35 points a game in the recent win streak. That is a badass defense. And OG Anunoby is it's you, bro. You're amazing. And you can't, you know, with Scotty and Pascal too, and Precious, these guys are jumping all around and not letting that man do nothing. It's hilarious. He kept getting hurt and he had to keep leaving the game. It seemed like a really frustrating game for Devin Booker. It's almost like the Raptor was laughing at him over in the corner. I wish the Raptor had done more to mess with him, but no, he left him alone. No trolling with any kind of contest, costumes, or anything like that. There wasn't any perpetuating of the Raptor versus Devin Booker feud. The Raptors stayed away from him. I guess maybe they asked him, don't mess with him because you don't want to make this bigger than it is. Well, Raptor said, okay, OG, I can't mess with him today. Can you mess with him? And OG said, yes. Yes, he did. My 4-star is Achua. Achua was just awesome, man. You know what? Listen, these guys really did bounce back from really poor games on Tuesday night. Achua and Barnes in particular were really bad against Brooklyn, but man, did they bounce back with pride last night. Precious with a double-double in 18 minutes, y'all. He's out there less than 20 minutes, and he's got a double-double. 5 of 10 from the field. He hit the only 3 that he took, and it was a nice, confident step into a 3. I love that. Some people are saying, oh, no, don't encourage him. But I'm like, yeah, encourage him. It's fun. 3 for 4 at the free throw line. So we saw Precious improve with his free throws immediately from one night to the next. You know, that's the kind of stuff we want as Raptors fans. And we want y'all to continue to get better and better. If we can see direct results of, well, Precious 1 for 4 one night at free throw line, next night 3 for 4, that makes us feel good because it makes you feel like they're improving and they're making things happen and they're going in the right direction. Now, Precious had 6 offensive rebounds. In fact, this this one play was so crazy. There were so many shot attempts by the Raptors. They kept getting offensive rebounds. Malachi Flynn had like 2 or 3 3-point attempts that missed. I was like, how many Malachi misses can we get on one possession? With Precious keeps offensive rebounding the ball, and they kept getting shots. And they kept missing. There were so many missed shots on that one possession. It was like comedy. And the fact that we kept keeping the ball because Precious kept getting it back was awesome. And then he finally put it in. I was like, yes. It was so many rebounds. He got like 4 offensive rebounds on one possession. It was so comical. And I'm like, Malachi, you gonna miss another one on the same possession? Oh my gosh, Malachi shooting those threes. And Precious just keeps giving him the ball back. It was so awesome. That was so cool. He had 14 points, 1 assist, 2 steals, 1 turnover, a +6 for Precious Achua, my 4th star of the game. The 5th star of the game for me is Siakam. Siakam was really good defensively, and he scored. He carried a lot in this game too. He wasn't totally the dominant guy in the game, but he was definitely a part in us winning. 9 of 21 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3. 3 of 3 at the free throw line. I like that. 9 rebounds with 3 of them offensive, 3 assists, 1 steal, 3 turnovers, a +9 for Siakam, 22 points. Yeah, I mean, it's steady. It's fine. Last couple games, we couldn't get anybody over 20. We got Barnes and Siakam to score over 20 this game, and we won this time. Telling you, that's a key. We need guys who can score up to 20. We need some 20-point scorers each and every game. Dennis was fine. He's honorable mention. He just didn't shoot very well last night. It's crazy because he really didn't shoot well for the game last night, but he had amazing passes, absolutely amazing passes. And then he, of course, had that crazy dribble layup over Nurkic at near the end of the game, like in the last minute of the game. That was a really bizarre play. It's like, all right, give the ball to Dennis. Dennis dribbles underneath the basket, dribbles around Nurkic, and then he sees he has Nurkic on him, and he does a speed mismatch take, and he beats him to the rim and lays it in. That was an awesome play. That was so smart of Dennis. That was pretty ballsy too, considering he had not made his shot most of the game, to take over and just say, I'm going to make this last shot. I'm going to carry us and hit that. It was absolutely clutch. It was absolutely the right decision. Reading a mismatch against a slower, bigger center, Nurkic, and being able to kill him in speed to get around him to get the basket. And of course, the passes. He had a few alley-oops that were amazing. One to OG early, one to Precious later that was sensational. He had some stuff with Siakam in the break where he threw the ball between Kevin Durant's legs, then connected to Siakam in transition on fast break, and he jammed it through. Really quick, hard play. Expert level 10 play. I mean, he nutmegged Kevin Durant. That's what they're calling it. This is a clip that should grow in infamy in the culture, in the history of Raptors culture. That clip needs to be archived, much like the Thad Young crossover on Joel Embiid, where Embiid fell on his face in the playoffs. This is a play that is like that, the nutmegging of Kevin Durant. This is one that Raptors Moments needs to have a field day with. Seriously, Raptors Moments, can you just do this play like a real detailed breakdown of this play? I love that. If you're taking requests, Raptors Moments, take care of some of the game highlights from last night, because there's a bountiful plenty of amazing highlights, with the one that Dennis did through Kevin's legs being wow. Scotty commented on that play after the game. The press asked him, what did you think of Dennis throwing the ball between Kevin's legs on that fast break play to Siakam? And Scotty kind of laughed a little bit. And he said, that was nice. That was fire. And it was really great play. It's like, that's basically what Scotty said. But he was very jubilant about it. He actually laughed a little bit in the press conference when they mentioned it to him. So that's pretty good. That's pretty funny. Yeah, awesome stuff. So good. The highlights of this game last night were just really enjoyable to watch. You go back and watch them right now. You'll smile. You'll smile. All right, let's see. Trevor's saying this team leaves you speechless sometimes. Lose to the team that they should beat, then turn around and beat the teams that nobody thought they would beat, and stop the Suns 7-game win streak. Listen, once again, I'm just straight up telling y'all the referees weren't going to let us beat Brooklyn. That's the only reason why we didn't beat them. We would have beat the Nets if it hadn't been an in-season tournament game and the Celtics' fate wasn't in the hands of us. If we were allowed to play correctly, we would have kicked the shit out of the Nets. It's just the referees and then Malloy very much had a job to do, and they did it. And they got it done. So everybody who's saying, oh, you guys suck because you couldn't beat the Nets. Well, they weren't letting us beat the Nets. They wanted the Celtics to be able to go further in the IST tournament. And we would have eliminated the Celtics if we had beaten the Nets on Tuesday night. It's as simple as that right there. So I don't say that they suck because they couldn't beat the Brooklyn Nets in the end of the game. No, that was very forced. What happened with that? Very, very forced. Now, let's see. Dana saying, good morning, everyone. What a win. Yes, Canadian Dana. Yes. Woo. That's right, Dana. That's right. Trevor's saying, now this team shows us who they really are. So no turning back from this point. Let's go. Let's grow. Let's continue to show what the powers of this team are. The defense is so freaking good, y'all. In fact, I was thinking about this. It's like these Raptors really take pride in how they play defense together. You can tell like there's a real strong commitment to this by some supremely talented defenders in the NBA. And these guys are top level. And when they're all together and they're working like this is the thing. This team has Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, and they can't find shots. They're running out 24-second shot clocks. They're not getting clean shots. They're putting up shots and they're bricking, and we're getting the rebound. And it's a defense success. Close their possession, and we're going the other way. That there's a lot of that. We really do have an amazing defense. Phoenix Suns are a juggernaut offensive team that can score like crazy in this league. Not against us. Not against us. When we're full strength and we've got our guys playing at a high level, nobody's going to be able to score on us. And that's a big secret about how we can be successful this year, even though people don't think we're going to be successful. Defense still can be king. And it's kind of badass because this league is wide open to help the offensive players get whatever they want. Easy to get fouls, easy to get room. It's so hard to play defense in today's NBA. They've really catered the rules and the way the referees call the game that it is so hard to do what the Raptors do. And in some ways, we're like rebels. You're like, you want to be an offensive league? Fuck that. We're going to be a crazy ass good defensive team. And we're still going to beat all your offensive teams' asses. Dallas and Phoenix and Minnesota. That's right, bitches. We own the West right now. We the West, bitches. Because we're going to beat all y'all Western Conference teams this year. Because y'all didn't invest in defense. And we did. And we know how to shut all y'all down. Woo! I love it. Let's go. Bring on the next opponent, New York. And let's see how this defense shuts y'all down next. Yeah. Woo. That's right. Level up, Scotty. Level up, level up, level up. He is an evolving Pokemon. And that man leveled up once again last night, Mr. Scotty Barnes. He did. Yes, he did. You saw it. You saw it. Chris is here. MSJ. Thank God for the win. I was sent to CECC for being too big a Raptors fan. What? Don't even ask how I got this burner phone, but Selly Jumbo Manfred was getting twitchy with the losses. I should bond out soon. Okay, wait a second. Are you saying you're in jail? I don't even understand what you're saying. Chris, are you actually in jail or whatever? What's going on with your life? I hope you get better and everything's all right, man. Holy crap. Name is saying, what would Scotty be better somewhere else? Are we wasting his time? Is that what Idiot said over on his channel? Well, listen, we already know. He said apparently in the last couple of days, he doesn't care about the Raptors winning. He'd much rather Scotty get triple doubles. He doesn't care about them winning. He just wants Scotty. He's all Scotty stan. He only cares about Scotty. That's the only thing he shall not be named. The motherfucker that's represented by that little purple cry face, Robert Pensair, Robert Misovich, of fucking stupid ass Pensair basketball. He only cares about Scotty and what Scotty wants and what Scotty can get. He does not care about the Raptors in the least. If you're a Raptors fan, do not watch Pensair basketball. Because the only thing he wants to do is make Scotty happy and have Scotty do this and Scotty do that. He doesn't give a shit. Like he's saying, oh, would Scotty be better somewhere else? Or are we wasting his talent? Fuck you, Robert Misovich. You were never a Raptors nation. You're some sort of Scotty fan that came and joined us when he showed up. And now you're trying to figure out ways to get him out of here. People that watch Penn State basketball, tell him to fuck off. And, watch him still if you want, but cuss him out and keep him in line. Or just leave him alone and ignore him. He's an idiot. And he's obviously a Scotty Barnes teeny bopper that he only cares about Scotty. Oh, Scotty this, Scotty that. He's the leader of those motherfuckers. I love Scotty. Don't get me wrong. I got a Scotty Barnes jersey right there. I got a Scotty Barnes bobblehead right here. And Scotty Barnes knows that I exist on this planet. So it's like, listen, I'm not like y'all. I'm Raptors first. And his team first. And you know what? Scotty's more like me than he is than y'all fucking Penn Stareites. Yeah, Scotty's team first, just like the Raptors freak. He's not Scotty first, like you fuckheads over at Penn State basketball. There you go. There's my little rant for idiot who shall not be named. That's right. MSJ saying, did he say that for real? I'm sure he did. That sounds exactly like something he would say, Chris. That sounds exactly like something that idiot would say over there. He ain't got no filter like me, so he's just saying the top. He says the main things that he means off the top of his head. If he's doing any live or anything like that, he's just going off filter. And honestly, he says what he means. You hear what he says? Then he says what he means. So believe him when he says it. Nameless saying, I hate that guy so much, man. I fucking hate that guy. Let's not bring him up anymore then. He don't exist in this world. He don't exist in this channel other than he shall not be named. That Voldemort piece of shit. Yeah, fuck him. I'm a Harry Potter, bitch. Kazal, you're out of here, bitch. I killed your faceless face, motherfucker. That's right, bitch. Yeah. 1,000% killed you, bro. Nako saying we ain't wasting Scotty's time with OG around. I don't think Scotty looks like things are wasting his time. The one thing that I would caution idiot over on the other channel is Scotty could waste his time with other teams a lot easier, with teams that don't have direction, teams that have other people that they're building around. He is the best situation in Toronto because we are committed to building around him and he knows it. He's got a team that is very good with winning and has a culture of it already, has a track record with their front office of doing winning kind of things. He could be in other teams and he'd just be spinning his wheels. He could be Cade Cunningham right now. So shut the fuck up, Nisovich. Scotty's in the perfect situation for him. And if you really liked him or wanted the good things for him, you would want to keep him in Toronto for as long as possible because Masai's got his back and everything's all about Scotty for the future. And there ain't nothing that's going to get in the way of that. So there you go, bitch. Fucking Penn State, you piece of shit. Oh my God. I can't believe he said that. We just beat the Suns and he's saying shit like that over on his channel. He's an idiot, y'all. He's an idiot. Chris is saying, I just told Jumbo Manfred he's fucking pissed. Good thing for little Bobby. He's not getting out for years. I have no idea why the fuck Chris is in jail, why he has a phone, and why he's saying these people's names I've never heard of. Nameless is saying he's definitely trolling at this point. He's not trolling. Listen, this is what it is. People down south saw the stud that Scotty was coming in the draft, and they all want him on teams in the States. I'm going to tell you this right now. It's very likely Robert is somebody from New York, as has been documented, and that he is working for the NBA or somebody to try and dislodge Scotty from our team through the fan nation. And it's so stupid. It's messed up. They understand what's happening with Scott. And him being in Toronto is really inconvenient for a lot of different reasons. So have an agent provocateur come into our fan nation and make a YouTube channel that's basically the whole premise is to try and dislodge Scotty from the Raptors. And you do it a couple different ways. You make feuds with him and other players on the team like Fred and Siakam, and you just try and get people in the fan nation to get behind you and on dumb little like crusades. And that's what he does on his channel. He has dumb little crusades that he has selfishly created for things that he thinks Scotty needs or stuff like that. So he's such a bad example of how not to be a fan of the Raptors. He obviously only cares about Scotty. He doesn't care about the Raptors winning, and it shows when the things he says. So if you line up with him as far as the way he feels about things, go watch him. That's a free country. But if you understand that he's a fucking idiot and he's not actually for the Raptors, why are you giving him clicks? Why are you giving him attention? That's what I would say right there. Yeah. Nameless is saying, how's this guy at our fan nation? Go back to New York, bro. Yeah, we need to reject him. The positive right real Raptors fans, like the ones that frequent this stream, know the truth about him. And all we need to do is continue to give people the information to understand who the fuck this fuck is. Now, once again, I don't want to talk about him. We just won yesterday. Nameless, don't fucking bring him up anymore. Seriously, we should be talking about the Phoenix Suns and not talking about idiot fuckface. All right, and seriously, you got to go in the swear jar for this one, Nameless. You used to hold that swear jar. You brought him up, so fucking you have to pay in the swear jar today. Seriously, so don't bring him up. We've had a good streak of not talking about him. I'd like to continue that streak. He ain't got nothing to do with Raptors Freak World other than we shun him and he's a piece of shit, is what it is. Yeah, Cowboys here. Good morning, Lex and Raptor Freaks. That what I said. Oh yeah, we're not talking about it anymore, Cowboy. I'm moving on. Nameless saying, before I have my uncle Vincenzo come and find you, you don't want to see Vince and his 3 missing fingers. Okay, this is interesting. He's talking about associates of his. Trevor J saying he is a butt full whole face, definitely. Yeah. Cowboy saying I've been keeping my eyes on out for him as he's always in his dark room. Let's go Raptors and Raptor Freaks. Kareem Thomas saying Precious, 14 points, 10 rebounds in 18 minutes. That ain't no fluke. Achua can ball. Yeah. Yeah. And I love that alley-oop from Dennis. That was picture perfect. Dennis is so awesome. Like, man, I love how he diversified setting guys up in different places during this game. You know, I have a new thing I'm calling for when Dennis sets up Jakob Pertl and he does a sweeping like layup. I'm calling it Flugelhorn or something like that. Something weird. Like we should call it Matterhorn when it's like that German Austrian connection. And like it's a very much like a FIBA World Cup kind of like action. Like there's a lot of what Dennis is doing right now with Jakob Pertl that is very reminiscent of Dennis and Mo Wagner and Coleman and the different German players, the bigs for the national German team. And I love it because we really are cultivating some of the really good leadership and skills that Dennis did this summer for Team Germany in gold winning fashion on the Raptors right now. It's just substitute one of those big German guys for a big Austrian guy doing some of the same actions you would have saw this summer at FIBA with Jakob and like pick and rolls and just give and goes and stuff like that. Really, really smart basketball, beautiful basketball that people enjoy watching because it's team ball and it's fun because you say, oh, and like, yeah, I love that. I'm going to call it Matterhorn or Flugelhorn or something like that. The connection when Dennis sets up Jakob and he gets a sweeping layup like he has been lately. I love those plays because Jakob is very confident at this point in his career. He used to be when he was younger and he was first on the Raptors or very early in his rookie years. He was very sheepish and he would be clumsy and he'd turn the ball over way more. But now he's much more confident and he strides towards the basket through the lane with a very supreme confidence and strength. And he's very efficient and he makes them very, very often. So, yeah, I love the connection. It's very FIBA-esque between Schroeder and Jakob down low. It's very looking like Germany kind of stuff. Let's see. Cowboys saying, did he get the chain? Scotty Barnes got the chain last night, and rightfully so. That dog in him got that chain. There's a clip of them giving the chain to Scotty, and Drake came into the back for the after game after game celebration. And Darko said, "You're a part of the team. You should say something." He said something like, "Man, you guys you were so good." And he's like, "You guys, that was different." And so going off and talking to them. And in some ways, I wonder, Drake, you wouldn't have gone in there if they hadn't won. I know you would have gone with Kevin and Devin. In some ways, you said at the beginning of the season, Drake, that you were going to go relocate to Phoenix because you like your friend Kevin, and you're like going to start rooting for them this year. Motherfucker, you do play both sides of the fences, don't you, Drake? You would have gone into the Suns locker room if they had won last night, wouldn't you have, Drake? Well, you were in the right locker room last night because Scotty Barnes said, "Hey, come see me, Drake. Come give me the adulation of being the winner in this game." There you go. There you go right there. Yeah, Scotty got that chain and Drake was there to see it. That's got to be some sort of weird like thing for Scotty Barnes. You're like, you're in the NBA. You just got a chain. You just beat Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, and Drake is in your locker room celebrating with you. That's like stuff that dreams are made of. It's just kind of like, was he a kid? Did you ever think that he would beat Kevin Durant and then get to hang out with Drake afterwards? Probably not, but he made it happen. That's just the reality of his life as of last night. That's right. Trevor J saying, "Good morning, Cowboy. What a big win." I agree. Cream saying, "Barnes got the jewelry, but it was well deserved. He closed out the game in the fourth for us. He carried. He carried. This is the thing. All I wanted is different Raptors to carry at different times of the game. It could be Gary gets going offensively and he shoots a bunch of early baskets good. We see Siakam carry for parts of the game. OG may have a little bit of the game where he carries offensively. Dennis definitely can carry sometimes in the game, especially late when nobody's able to do something. All of a sudden, Dennis is carrying. But Scotty really was the main guy that in the crunch time where it's getting close to the end of the game, and we saw Kevin starting to warm up, starting to try and take over himself, KD, and we stifled him. He did make some tough baskets, but Scotty was the counter answer. The other end of the court, Kevin would make some baskets and get them close because they're trying to strike and still try and win the game in the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter. And Scotty had an answer. They get back down the other end of the court, and Scotty hits a three, or Scotty goes inside and makes something happen. That's what I'm talking about. We need a counterpoint to their point, especially when a high-level scorer like Kevin Durant is trying to take over and win a game. Well, we need to carry water and keep scoring too. And Scotty totally carried us at the end there. Yeah, he totally did. Let's see. Cowboys saying Scotty's block was nasty. Get that garbage out of here. He had a couple blocks. It wasn't just one block from Scott. He had a couple blocks that were really nasty. He had 3 for the game, but I can remember 2 that were really kind of out of nowhere and just kind of like very emphatic. That's the word for it. Emphatic. That's the right word. Let's see. Chris is saying, who got the chain? Barnes did? Yeah, Scotty got it. We said that. MSJ saying his energy to close the third was unreal. He was everywhere. He was literally everywhere. I'm telling you, Scott, if you can get that level of conditioning and you can play like that for most of the game, you'll be the most dominant player in the NBA. Nobody can mess with you like that. You're too quick, too strong, and your will and your desire is that much all the time. You will kick the shit out of this league, and you will win many, many awards and many, many championships. I'm serious. It's on you, Scott. You can do this. All you got to do is put that energy into it. And if you could do this after a night where you came in on a plane at 4 a.m. from New York last night, and you can come in with that kind of energy, I don't want to hear any more excuses about why you don't got no energy. You show up and you do this. And even if it's not for the whole entire game, if you can have spurts and periods of the game where you are doing this crazy I'm everywhere thing, man, we're going to win. We're going to win a lot of games because that thing was huge, that Scotty energy. Scotty energy was amazing last night. Cowboys saying, well-deserved for Scott. That's right. Well-deserved to you, Scotty Barnes. You, buddy. That's right, man. Trevor J saying, Precious maybe heard the fans talk about him, so he came back with a big game last night. Maybe. I mean, I think that he didn't need to hear them. I don't think they do hear us. They really don't want to hear us. There's nothing for us to offer them. They hear it from their coaches. They hear it from their teammates. They hear it in their own internal voice. Precious knows how bad he played against Tuesday against the Nets, and he wanted to change that, and he made it himself. I'm sure it was on him that he don't need somebody to come tell him. He's like, man, I did really play bad. I'm going to play better. And he did. It was awesome. Cowboys saying, pay OG right now, whatever he wants. There you go. The extension needs to happen, Bobby. Everybody's salivating. All nations want OG on their team. Everybody wants OG on their team right now, just like they have. It's just like we keep bringing out the most tastiest steak and let them smell it and the sizzle, and they can look at it, and it's like, nope, sorry, it's ours. Yum, 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 yum. We've been doing this for a couple of years. And the intensity and the want for OG Anunoby on other teams has only gotten higher and higher. And OG is so happy and perfect here. Masai's going to keep him, and they're going to just keep wanting him. He's the ungettable woman. He is someone you can never have. You will never, ever have him at other teams. I'm going to tell you that right now. If it happens, it'll be a good deal, and I'll trust in Masai. But for the most part, I do not see anybody getting this guy from our team. We're very happy with him here, and he's very happy being here himself. So, yeah, pause everybody's future plans to have Anunoby on your team doing the things that he does for your team. I don't think it's going to happen. Seriously, we are going to invest in him. He loves playing with Scotty. It makes too much sense. And why would we let him go? Seriously, he is somebody we've developed and made into who he is, and we are very happy to continue to have that happening. Trevor J saying, yes, I agree with that sentiment. Cowboy, yeah, pay the man, pay OG right now. Pay that man and just let him be a Raptor for his whole career. That's what I'm saying right now. Yes, sir. Yeah. I'm just gonna skip that, Cowboy. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Cowboy saying, I'd love to have a conversation with him at the dog park. All right, let's see. Trevor saying, we can't let none of these guys go because sharks in the water ready to eat. Well, yeah, I don't know what sharks you're talking about. We are the sharks in the water. We're ready to eat as on our defense. That's right. Cowboy saying, I think a couple off the bench, but no need for trade talk today when the sun goes down on my side of town. I love that. The cowboy and the skillet. Kevin and Devin came to kill it, but OG wasn't having any of it. He said, y'all can just get shut down because you came into our town and the Scotia Bank Arena is ours, friend. Yeah. Oh, I need to do that better. Cowboys saying Scotty with the Pascal spin was fire. Yeah, that's pretty good. Chris is saying one day Flynn might actually hit threes. Dick might come to be a player in a year. We have the basics down. Need another guard though, and Koloko healthy. Team is so obviously a project. Darko is on it. Yeah, there's a lot of truth in what you're saying. Trevor's saying, as we walk this journey of life, we learn how to adapt to survive and provide. There you go. Trevor J, words of wisdom. That's right. Our team is figuring out how to provide good entertainment and running around up and down the court. Nako's saying Yock's offense looked good. Yeah, he's not missing. It's insane how much he's making shots. Like he is not missing very often. I know they're real easy shots, and he's right there, and he should be making them like that. But in some ways, it kind of reminds you of like when you're an older kid in your neighborhood and you play basketball with a bunch of little kids. It's kind of like that when you're like older kid in the neighborhood and there's little kids you're playing basketball with. That's kind of what it's like. Starscream saying, you called it, Lex. You guys are streak busters. Thank you, Starscream. Coming in here, Nets Nation coming in respecting a big win yesterday against the Suns. Yeah, it was weird. I mean, honestly, I was hoping that would happen. We're a weird team, man. We're a very weird team. And honestly, I wish we had beaten y'all, but it's just a weird year. It's a weird year. And I really feel like we're going to do very well against most of the Western teams. There's something about our team makeup and the way that teams are trying to do things out West that we just have a really nice mismatch advantage over them. Our team is really kind of not fun to play against. I mean, you see how Kevin and Devin struggled to get anything open against so many different. It's like you guys switch and it doesn't matter. You got OG. Okay, you're switching for Scotty. You switch from Scotty. Oh, you get Precious now. It's like none of these guys are easy to score on, and it's crazy. It's kind of fun. Yeah, I listen. I'm trying to do what I do on this channel is predict stuff. And even before the game with you guys, I was like predicting Ed Malloy is going to be a problem. Well, I was hoping that I'd be right about the Suns and we have a good chance to beat them. When I heard that Kevin was going to play, I was like, this could be good or bad, obviously. In some ways, some people said they were like, I'd like to play the Phoenix Suns full strength. And I don't want anybody making excuses saying, oh, well, Kevin wasn't there. That's why you could beat them. That's why I'm glad Kevin was there and we beat them anyway. Because some people will be like, especially negative people who want to put down the Raptors, they'll be like, oh, you wouldn't have beat them if Durant had played. They'd be making any fucking dumb excuse for why they could slight the Raptors. And I'm glad he played. Yeah. And I'm sure as a Nets fan, in some ways you enjoyed that win over him also. I'm sure you did. I'm sure you slightly did. That's part of the reason why you circled back to say hi to us. Star Streak, I appreciate you coming back recently. And I hope you'll frequent some more, not just when we're playing you guys. Blackhawk saying Pascal's defense looks good too, but most people do not pay attention to that. Pascal's a big body to get around. You know what, Neil? You're getting the first dunk of the day for speaking the truth and something that really he is going to get overshadowed, partly because he's such an offensive player that people really look at that. And then he's overshadowed by the really excellent defense of OG. And, people are talking more about Scotty and Precious for their defense, but Pascal is the same level of defender as those guys. In fact, we saw Siakam on Durant a lot last night, and he is a big part of the stopping of those guys too. It's not like everything that OG did is the whole entire reason why these guys got stopped. It's a team effort. They all have to be able to stop this guy and do good things to stop Booker. So, yeah, Siakam is definitely underrated for defense. And thank you for shining a light on Siakam's defensive side of things. He is a very good defender. You're right. Shir Khan's here. Good to see Raptor Freak Rookie of the Year. Shir Khan is undefeated on Raptors tonight. This young man is always getting his comments and questions read by Randy Urban. Randy, you should know Shir Khan by now. He's practically your co-host. Shir Khan, we love you, man. Holding it down for Raptor Freak family in the Raptors Tonight chat always. Good morning, Raptor Freak family. Wow, what a win. Dennis seems to be allergic to the ball with 12 assists. Scotty with some nifty passing. Pascal and Precious back to true form. OG and Gary provided the right team support. There you go. I don't know if Dennis is allergic to the ball. It just seems like he wanted to give it to other guys. In some ways, he's very, very, very smart and calculated every little thing he's doing out there. It's like he very much knows when to go himself and take the shot himself and when to give it up to somebody else. He's taken a lot of good opportunities to pass it to the right people at the right times, and 12 assists is indicative of that. There's a stat that said that last year, Dennis Schroeder had 10 games for the Lakers that he got double digits in assists. This year so far, he's got 5 games with double digits in assists this year. So I'm telling y'all, he's not even the same player that played for the Lakers last year. He really did level up this summer for Germany playing in FIBA World Cup. So he's a totally different player, and people need to start recognizing and respecting the new level of player that Dennis Schroeder is. You can't be basing your opinions on little white-haired Dennis Schroeder. No, Raptor Schroeder is very, very different player, a better player than Schroeder's ever been in the NBA. And he's just a mature pro playing a high level and giving the team what the team needs. What the team needs. That's what Dennis is out there doing. He's giving the team what the team needs. All right, you mentioned the bench, Shir Khan. So I'm going to go ahead and go look at their stat lines a little bit, a little extra stuff on the bench. You mentioned Gary in particular. Gary was quite good for the most part. He's still shooting pretty well. 5 of 13 from the field, 3 of 7 from 3. He had a three-pointer that was wiped, that was totally bogus and messed up. That phantom kick ball by Yuta Watanabe in the first half was not there, Danica Mosier. It seemed like it. It was optical illusion, and you basically took 3 points away from us because Gary made a three-pointer right at that instant after. There was a little tiny bit of ref manipulation last night, but it was nothing too heavily egregious that it really derailed us from winning. There was just slight weirdness, and that was one of the calls. Gary was 5 of 13 from the field, 3 of 7 from 3, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 13 points, and even with his plus minus. Malachi, 0 for 3, 0 for 3 from 3 points, 2 points from the free throw line, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 turnover, plus 9, 2 points. Yeah, Malachi, man, come on, bro. Come on, bro. You gonna razzle and dazzle me with a little fake layup that you did in a Brooklyn game, and then you're going to come in and get a 0 for 3 from 3. And it was crazy because 2 of those threes were on the same possession, and you got a couple of chances there. You're supposed to make it and adjust. After you missed the first one, you should adjust and make the second one. But no, you missed the second one in adjustment too. That's like, what are you doing, Malachi? Oh my gosh. I don't want to come down on him too hard. Chris Boucher only came in for 3 minutes, and he barely played. And after the game, Darko said in his press conference, I made a mistake not playing Chris Moore. He owned up to it. He actually said he actually showed us how he takes responsibility for things. Darko showed it in the afterwards. He says, I have to own up and admit that I was wrong to not play Chris Boucher more in the second half. And that was a mistake by me, and I'm admitting it. He showed accountability in the interview after the game, that it was an oversight that he forgot to put Chris back in. That's pretty amazing. And that goes a long way with these players. You know, Siakam said some funny things about Darko after the game in his interview. He said that he is a really good guy, and we really like him, and we were truly trying to play really hard for him. So these guys are bought in. They really like Darko, and they trust him, and they're building real personal bonds where it's like you can tell Siakam talking about Nick is different than Siakam talking about Darko. There's a different energy behind how he describes the relationship with Darko when asked about it by the press. You can tell it's special. It's very special. And like Alvin said, or Jack in different places in the broadcast, when you see guys come off the court and you see Darko talk to them and the encouragement, You can tell, wow, that's a really good coach. That's a really good coach because he's doing a good job of being communicative with the players and involved and engaged. And he's very accessible and approachable. That's another part of it. Nick Nurse could be very communicative and telling what he wants from them, but in some ways, he was not accessible. He wasn't there for them if they needed to talk to him at all times. Like Darko seems like he is. He's the kind of coach that'd be like, here's my cell phone, Scotty. Call me. I don't care at any time. If you have a problem, 4 a.m., call me. I'm there for you. I don't know if Nick was like that with these guys. He's very much like, don't talk to me after the game and we'll talk about it in the morning kind of person. Whereas I think Darko is like completely open and lives, eats, and breathes Raptors basketball, making this team better. And part of that package is I'm available 24/7 to my players as they need me, I am their coach. And I think that's amazing. And it's a really, really good thing for this team. It's a really, really good thing. It's a good welcome change. Jalen McDaniels, 9 minutes, 0 for 1. Not really a whole lot in the game for him. Just kind of came in for a spot of coffee. So yeah, good stuff from, the bench was okay. In some ways you look at it and you're like, well, two of the bench guys didn't even score, but three of them did score quite a bit. And that was 29 points for the bench, which is good. I think we outscored Phoenix's bench. So that's good. Let's see, 29 to 28. So we just beat them by 1 point. 29 to 28. I mean, it's pretty close. It's not that much difference. Let's see. But yeah, Shirkan, great game last night. Lots of great highlights for sure. Randolph is here. Good to see Randolph Phillips. Greetings, beloved Raptor Freaks, most informative gang. Blessings. Good win as always. Get up for the top teams. As Jack said, coach must hold them accountable to play at this level. Yeah, they hold themselves accountable. They have a very high pride factor. That's what Coach Darko said, is that these guys, they understand that they're playing for Toronto. They're playing for Canada. They understand Scotiabank Arena is their home court and that the fans pay a lot of money to come down there and watch them play at a high level. And in some ways, they don't want to disappoint us. That this is what Darko said after the game. He's like, they take a lot of pride in being a representatives of Toronto and Canada and playing for the Toronto Raptors. And they don't want to embarrass us. They don't want to make us look bad. They want to take care of business on our court. And I love that. There was some questions in the last couple of days by, was like, where's that Kyle Lowry? We care and we want to get back at people and keep track of this shit. Well, it's there. It's there still. And they are keeping track of it. But this kind of talk and saying, we want to defend our house. We don't care if Kevin Durant is one of the greatest scorers ever in the history of the NBA. We have a passion and a pride in beating teams in our home court and giving our home fans entertainment and giving them something to cheer for. That's very much part of what's going on with this. Is these guys do take it seriously. There's a Raptors culture and there's a way of carrying themselves that they want to continue to hold on to and keep it going. The stuff of Lowry is not totally lost. In some ways, it lives on through Coach Darko, Siakam, and Barnes, and Anunoby, and guys like that. That they are carrying those ideas and mentalities that Kyle would have had if he was still here, still to this day. And I'm so glad because I've been worried about that with Kyle leaving before and then Fred leaving this summer, that some of those things that people should care about on a basketball team may be lacking at this point. Well, I think we're getting the signs that they do still really take pride in playing very high level basketball and winning games for the fans at Scotiabank Arena. Yeah, it's awesome. It's so awesome. Cowboys saying good job by the whole team. Dennis only got 8 points, I think, but man, did they matter. Shout out to you, Jakob. Dennis, that's what I'm saying. People that think Dennis is selfish, well, look, he played an amazing game and he didn't even get double digits last night. In fact, he's so unselfish. He hits the big three when he's open. He makes a big layup at the end of the game, but he doesn't need to carry for most of the game. In fact, he will carry by making the other guys carry, by setting them up. You see the silver platter. Dennis had it last night in those 12 assists. Silver platter through Kevin Durant's legs. That play is amazing. I'm sorry. I can watch that play and it'll look new to me and I will laugh and have a big smile on my face every single time I watch that pass that Dennis executed to Pascal last night. That is one for the record books. I'm not one for the record. That's just one to tag and put and have it bookmarked for later. You put that clip with the Joel Embiid falling flat on his face clip. That's just happy sunshine for Raptors Nation. You watch that and you will smile every time you see it. I'm telling you. Troy Henry's here. Good to see Troy Henry, a great Raptor freak. Fool's been clowning on Scotty, saying he had that dog in him. They went as far as doing an X-ray and came back to realize there's about 4 different breeds of dogs in him. I like that, Troy Henry. That's funny. All right, yeah, I'll give you a dunk for that. He's got that Roddy like Cardi in there. He's probably got a bit of bulldog in him. He's got some greyhound too, I believe, from the way he gets up and down the court. Yeah, he has definitely got a couple of genres of dogs or breeds, I guess is the right word. Yeah, I agree with that. MSJ saying NBA alert 32, 10, and 15 from the best player on earth last night. Unreal. That stat line is effectively near 70 points. You're talking about Kevin Durant? You talking about Kevin Durant? Who are you talking about? You got to preface things. I don't even know who you're fucking talking about, Chris. If you're in jail, just get out of jail. Work on that. Naka's saying, I think OG hit a 3 on KD, and KD just looked done with life. Naka's funny. Naka said that. That's going to give me a dunk. Give him a dunk. Naka, that's hilarious that you just said. You think Kevin just felt like he was done with life. You know, he did look really upset at the end of the game. He definitely did. And there was some shit talking. Like Kevin hit some shot, and then he came back down the court. And he was talking trash to Drake. Like he was yelling at Drake at one point in the game. I noticed. David saying, "All right, what are we bitching about today?" I'm not bitching about anything. Some people wanted to bring up idiot earlier, and there was a little bit of that, but otherwise, nothing to bitch about from last night, David. That's for sure. Chris is saying nothing today. Even my celly. Jumbo Manfred is feeling good about the win. All right, Chris, I don't even know what your stories are with your jail stuff. You know, I have real jail stories. I hope you're not really in jail right now. And if you are, I apologize. But I've actually been to jail and understand jail stories and people like Jumbo Manfred. And I have told stories about those experiences on the channel in the past. But I don't really want to talk about jail stories right now. Come on, man. Carlos saying, great win, Raptor family. Happy KD win day. There you go, Carlo JS. Happy and positive Raptor free Carlo JS is smiling today, just like me. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, let's see who else. Superfan Monique Lawrence is here. She was at the game last night, holding it down for us with the luck and the power of Superfan Monique Lawrence, helping us win. Monique is undefeated. Once again, W's Day is Wednesday. We've only lost one game this season on a Wednesday. That was to Adrian Griffin's Milwaukee Bucks. The day before we played the Boston, that week we played in the in-season tournament. The game that we went to with Tom, David, and I, and Morgan, and Peter. That game is the only game we've lost on a Wednesday. Wednesday's been very lucky for the Raptors. That is Wednesday. We've beaten the Mavericks. We've beaten the Bucks. We've beaten the Timberwolves. We've beaten the Suns, all on a Wednesday this year so far. I like that. Wednesday night is a good night for the Raptors play. So next Wednesday, we're playing Miami. So we got to beat Miami Heat in Scotiabank Arena next Wednesday to keep this Wednesday win record up. It really is. It's like 6-1 at this point. We've played every single Wednesday since the season started, and we've only lost one of those Wednesday games, guys. Let's see. Fiercely saying, good morning, fam, and happy Thursday. Games like this, I don't mind when OG doesn't score as much because he's busy fulfilling his clamp contract. He's clamping it down. That's right, Fiercely saw Sarah. Fiercely's team is Phoenix in the Trevor J Tournament Cup tournament, and she is rooting for Phoenix next week. But last night, no, she wasn't. And she was very happy to see the Raptors beat the Phoenix Suns. But next week, she's going to be rooting for them to beat the Lakers and get further in the in-season tournament. That's for sure. David's saying, yay. Yay, David. Thank you for the super chat, David, by the way. G saying, this is what we asked for from Scotty, aggressiveness and hunger. Good job, Scotty. He can do this whenever he wants. Yeah, in some ways, it's his biorhythm. In some ways, it's when he really wants it. In some ways, it's really going to be like reading the game and the flow of the game and when to burst and energy and when not to. You know, he's going to learn more and more, and he'll be smarter with his very extremely strong energy power. And man, I can't wait to see the results of it and see how he really, really masters things. It really is like being a Jedi. You have to learn the Jedi tools and master them over time. You little Padawan, you can't really know how to grasp the whole power of the Force. And it takes you a while to learn it. And that's what's happening here. Scotty's a Padawan going on to becoming almost a Jedi right now. He's very close to being a full Jedi, and then at some point he could be a Jedi Master, just like LeBron James. I'm telling you, man, there's a lot that as he learns his powers and how powerful he can actually be, he's going to exert it more and more into wins for the Raptors. Watch. It's going to be awesome. Fiercely saying, Lex, I do agree Scotty was amazing, but let's also please acknowledge Siakam as he was more active earlier in the game and did put up lots of points. Oh, yeah. It's a complete team effort for sure. For sure. And Siakam is a big part of it. It all adds up together. And yeah, I think Siakam's defense was very, very good last night. And I've talked a bit about it already today. And yeah, he was carrying and doing a lot of important scoring for us at different times too. And I like that he was very much very good at the free throw line last night too, making all of his free throws. The commitment to the free throws was fantastic. Yeah, I won't put a shine on all of them. Honestly, all the starters were really good last night in their own different ways. Let's see. G saying also Yak was huge in the paint. Even if he isn't a blocking machine, he alters game players' game plans and they think twice attacking the rim. Yeah. Yeah, and those guys are men down there. They dominate the boards. They're like going in there. Him and Precious, they can go get rebounds over people left and right. It's crazy how well they rebound in the middle of traffic with all kinds of people around them hitting them and stuff. But yeah, I'm really proud of the whole starting lineup. Honestly, we could give kudos to all five of them for different reasons. Fiercely saying no excuse on back-to-back games. They showed up. They can handle their. They showed up that they can handle their business. So proud of them. Phoenix cut the lead when the bench unit was in. Once again, it's their consistency that is tricky. We did kind of play with fire a little bit in there late in the game. We had to, though. Like, Darko was really smart, and he played the starters deep into the third quarter to really kind of hold off the Suns making a third quarter run. But it was at a detriment that, he's not going to get these guys rest. And it is a back to back in a really crazy trip on the way home. The way that he snuck in rest for the starters in the fourth quarter was really smart and really well. Although he did have a danger period where he had that Scotty lineup with all or four bench with him out there. But the thing was, they rose to the challenge and they played clean ball without a lot of mistakes, and they didn't get outscored. That's the biggest thing. The problem is when the bench guys with Scotty comes in, they get outscored, they lose leads, or they get a huge lead put on them. That kind of stuff is the stuff we're watching. Well, as the commentator said last night, they were actually a plus when that unit was out there against the Suns. They did not get outscored, and that's really good progress. So I would say the difference between the times before with Scotty in the bench and what happened last night is that Scotty himself was taking more initiative to be the alpha and control the game while that unit is out there. See, the thing is, Scotty can play like kind of in the background and fill in the glue guy stuff with the starters. That's fine. But if you're out there with Malachi, Gary, Precious, and Chris, you have to be the driver. You have to be the alpha. You have to be the person that gets the ball, demands the ball, and does everything with the ball. And they all play off of you. And the problem has been when Scotty's with the bench unit, he's shrinked away from being paramount and forefront and center with whatever we're trying to do on offense. That is what it is. Exactly right there. Scotty, you have to be that aggressive energy with that bench unit and carry them and be the guy doing everything. In some ways, you will get the ball to them on the kickouts when they come and collapse and double you. But you should be looking to score when that lineup is out there. That is your time to take over and carry this team. And that's the big difference right there. If nobody's scoring for that team and Scotty's not stepping up and doing that, then we will get outscored when we have that unit out there. I was really worried when that team was out there, but I was watching them real close and I was like, they're actually doing okay. They're holding it. They're holding it. Like Jack said, you want that team out there to just hold things and keep it right around where it was when the starters went out. And they did that. They did that effectively. And it's very dangerous, especially with that team that they were playing against last night. To play Scotty with a four-bench lineup in the fourth quarter last night was very dangerous, but it paid off. It paid off, and they got the right amount of rest, and then, boom, they could bring in Anunoby and Siakam all of a sudden back in, and that's better. That's better all of a sudden, yeah. There you go. That was awesome. Monique saying, "Good morning, Raptor Freak family. 3 stars a game equals team effort." She's just saying the team is the 3 stars a game. She's giving it to the whole team. I'm with you on that, Mo. I'm glad you had a good time in the game last night. I'm sure you had a blast. And once again, Monique, the super fan Lawrence, is undefeated, y'all. She goes down there, brings those W vibes to their building, and she helps us get wins. Monique is there almost every Wednesday. And that is a huge reason why we have this Wednesday win streak that's been going on. Yeah, lots of wins on Wednesday, that's for sure. Cowboys giving Monique an alley-oop for being a super fan and going down there and helping us win. That's right. Monique is a big part of the winning for our team. I'm telling y'all, seriously. She has an energy to her that she brings into the arena. Kareem is saying, I was freaking out with Dennis holding the ball at the end of the game, but didn't realize he got the switch. He went to beast mode and was never going to be stopped. This shows he's the MVP of the world. Yeah, I love how he cooked Nurkic right at the end of there. I was like, dude, I saw it. I was like, man, you can cook him because it's Nurkic and he's so much quicker than him. Dennis really past people, and then all of a sudden he's laying it up. I really, really love Dennis Schroeder as a Raptor. There's so many things I love about it. His family really loves being here too. Ellen Schroeder had a clip that came out earlier this week where she went to the Mariah Carey concert on Monday with some of the wives of the players and the coaches. And Ellen said this on her clip. She said, I've never been so bonded with players' wives and coaches' wives like this in Toronto, that she's never had connections with other players' people in Lakers or Boston or Atlanta or Oklahoma City, and that she feels like really happy to have like friends that are wives of players. I'm speculating that it's got to be the old guys because none of our young guys are married or have kids. Like, who is it? It's like Otto, Thaddeus, Garrett, and him that really have kids. Nobody else on our team is married or has kids, at least that I know of. So it's like it really has to be like Ellen's hanging out with Shakina Young. And apparently, while their families are at the games, they're up on the practice level. Like Thad Young Jr. and Taylor Young are playing basketball with Junior Schroeder, and they're all becoming friends too. And apparently, also, Ellen Schroeder is best friends with Darko's wife. That apparently Darko's wife is German background and heritage, and she has a connection to their hometown of Braunschweig in Germany. So she's fast friends and very close with Darko's wife, Dennis's wife, and their children really like playing with each other also. So there's a whole lot of really awesomeness. Apparently, the Raptors took the players' wives and their kids to the Santa Claus parade this weekend, and they had their own little box to watch it, and then gave them tickets to go to see Mariah Carey on Monday night. So really fun stuff and interesting stuff. Ellen's always divulging cool things on her channel. Her channel is just as fun to watch as Dennis's. The other day she was sitting on the Raptors bench and she flipped the thing underneath that you see their seats and they're heated. She like turned it on. She's like sitting on the Raptors bench. She's like, "Ooh, this is nice and warm and toasty. I like this. This is so nice." And it's like, so they have really nice seats that are seat warmers on them. But yeah, all kinds of cool stuff from the things with Dennis, man. And he's very happy here. His happy wife, happy life. His wife is very happy being in Toronto with their family here. In some ways, she's even dissed America in her clips, like saying, I'm European. I have certain sensibilities coming from Germany. And being in Canada and Toronto is much more to my sensibilities than being in the States. In some ways, I can tell she very much prefers being in Canada, international city of Toronto, than even a place like LA. She'll take the trade-off for the weather and certain things about things for Toronto. She will. She likes it here a lot. In fact, she very much values shopping, and Toronto is one of the best cities in the world to shop in. She really does value that. All right, let's keep going. G saying after the Spurs game, teams adjusted on Scotty. Last night he didn't sidestep and Eurostep, Giannis stuff like Darko wants. Scotty will continue to readjust and other teams defenses. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. He's going to have to be an adjustment guy because he has all the package. They're going to try different things to try and stop him. And he's just going to have to know the protocol of basketball philosophy that they do this. Well, you do this to beat that. And there's always an antidote or another way to do it. And because he's so supremely a complete player, he's going to have the tools in him to make those adjustments and reads in the court. That's why great players can beat anybody, is because they have different ways they can beat them, whether it's with size, speed, whatever it is. Scotty's going to get more smart. That's the whole thing. As he gets smarter and smarter as a basketball player, he'll get more and more powerful. In some ways, he has a different kind of like development arc than most people because it really is about how more comfortable he gets and how more he just learns and he gets more and more veteran. The better and better he's going to get. Most saying defense over everything. Spot on. Devin Booker. Who? Devin Booker. Who? Monique had an axe to grind when she went down to Scotiabank Arena yesterday with Devin Booker. Yeah, specifically, she's like, I want to get some revenge for the Raptor against Devin Booker. And she was very much thinking that. Devin Booker's so goofy. He looked so weird with his headband, and he was kind of whiny and cryy. You could tell he's really annoyed. That block that OG got on him. Oh my gosh. When OG blocked him from behind, I was like, that is so awesome. And then we got a really badass play in transition after that. I was like, man, I'm telling you, there's some sequences in the game last night that need to be kept on a real Paul B. We need a highlight reel from just this game last night to watch later because there's a lot of joy in some of the plays from last night. And that block on Booker by OG was so good. Oh my gosh, he thought he had beat him so bad. And OG just kind of like put his hand. Oh, you know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about. Oh my gosh, that block was so good. Oh, yes. Yes. And it led to like a really good dunk at the other end. Oh my gosh. All right, let's see. Blackhawk saying, yes, our defense is good. However, the Suns were stupid to play Booker. Suns were not 100%, and that is their problem. We kept grinding, and the Suns became a casualty. We're going to get better. Yeah, no mercy. I don't give a shit if Devin Booker's hurt or Kevin Durant's just coming back from injury. I don't give a shit if y'all top heavied your salary cap with Bradley Beal and those two other guys, and you ain't got no money to spend, and the rest of your team is garbage because you ain't got no money to spend. I don't give a shit about any of that. That's their own problem with the way they run their team. I love what the Suns are doing. I think their owner is awesome. I think that the Suns are in a really good place going forward. It's just that in some ways, Bradley Beal was a misstep, really was. And I'm starting to think in some ways the NBA is not happy with Matt Ashiba trying to do this Bradley Beal thing right before they change the salary cap rules. And on the down low, they may be slightly punishing Phoenix in certain ways with referee favor or certain things because of them being outlaws and saying, we're going to get 3 superstars before you change the cap rules and make it hard for teams to do this. So we're going to get Bradley Beal in right before the change of this. So I could speculate this. There may be no truth to what I'm saying, but it would make sense to a degree that on the download that Phoenix is on a double secret probation or something because of trying to do what they did with Beal this summer. It could very well be that way. Now, I don't even think they'll be better with Beal coming back. That's the funny thing. I think he just muddies things. He just makes things even worse. In fact, it's like I would not want to feed Beal. I'd rather feed more Durant and Booker than have Beal come in and say, I need this amount of shots too. No, motherfucker, you shoot like 35% and you're ineffective. Why the fuck are we giving you the ball? We got Kevin Durant. We should be shooting with him. So I think it was a total waste and kind of stupid that they got Bradley Beal this year. And so what? It's their team. They can mismanage it. I just think it's dumb. I mean, you got Devin Booker. Why do you need Bradley Beal? It's the same player in a lot of ways. Let's see. Cowboys saying, good job, Darko. The Raptors took the body punches and left hook, right hook, couple of uppercuts and 1,000 jabs and still wanted all that smoke. Let's go. Let's keep it up. There you go, Cowboy. Darko is just a real coach. He's a badass and he's a work in progress himself. But the thing is, he's not like a regular rookie coach. He has such a vast experience of head coaching from Serbia and Spain and the G League. And, he's been around the league for a while. And he really, this is part of the reason why we won last night is Darko really knows Devin Booker. He spent time with him in Phoenix. He coached him for quite a while. In fact, part of the reason why Devin Booker is who he is because of Darko. Darko helped unlock him to a degree with Monty Williams. So it's a weird thing because, in some ways, our coach is really, really smart. And the funny thing is, this is the thing I love. He loves OG because OG over prepares. OG watches tape on every single player in the league, and he really kind of knows how to guard every single person in the whole entire league. And when Darko said this earlier this season, and when he comes to OG and he talks to him about defensive assignments, he's always super impressed with how in depth and how much OG really understands about what he needs to do on defense to stop people, like knowing the proclivities and the tendencies of his opponent and what he would do. Like, this is my rule book for how I guard Kevin. And he'll explain it to Darko, and he'll be like, why do you even need me? It's like what Darko would say to OG. So you get the powers of, like, in some ways, Darko's very much like Nick Nurse as far as like he wants to stop the other team's best player. Well, if he has a proprietary knowledge of Devin because he coached him and he was a part of developing him into what he is, well, that's kind of a helpful advantage, right? And him working with OG with what he does already, which is crazy, the amount of preparation and thought he puts into how he plays defense. Yeah, you're going to see stuff like what happened last night. This Darko knows all about Booker, and OG knows how to stop him too. So, oh, really, really good stuff. So good. Callie Mayer saying good morning from Florida. Callie's down in Florida. So the stress meter is really low because she's hopefully in some sunshine. Although I've heard it's quite cold down there right now too. I have a friend in Florida was telling me last night that it's like 30 degrees Fahrenheit in Tallahassee where she is at. And so it's kind of crazy. Like the temperature down south is pretty low right now, just like it is up here. So hopefully you're in a warmer part of Florida, a very south part of Florida, Callie. And I'm sure your stress meter was varied last night. I'm sure there was a little bit of stress because of how close the proximity of the high octane Phoenix Suns were with their offense, but still we held them off. And I'm sure you were all right. She's saying, I couldn't get the game, but I saw the highlights. Awesome game. The highlights were fantastic. It was a really good game, Callie. And honestly, if you could watch the whole thing all the way through, it's enjoyable even though you know what happens. Fiercely saying, I love how OG puts the work on defense, and once in a while splashes a key 3-pointer in and has no reaction. Laugh out loud. Like Lex says, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. That's right. This dude's all business. He's like, listen, he could talk so much shit in this league. He really could. And maybe he does on the down low. Maybe he's funny with it. I mean, I've heard that about him. He pranked Damian Lillard this summer saying, you're on Toronto now, buddy. So there is a sense of humor and prankster in OG that we probably don't get to know enough about because some of it's within the team and the culture and the locker room, and the code is you don't talk about it. And then some of it may be on the court where it's like there could be really funny instances where like OG's lining up with people at the free throw line, like in the lane, and they'll say something like, they'll say, can you just go a little bit easier on me? And he's like, and OG might be say like something like, no, I have my job to do. Or so he says something like, who knows what kind of trash talk or things he's muttering to people in little exchanges on the court. Because in some ways he could be like his personality and kind of playful and talk a lot of mad shit and back it up by stopping people. Still, he's like, yeah, you still can't, you're not beat me, Kevin. I'm sorry. I'm going to stop you every time. It's like that kind of stuff probably is going on. Just a smidge. Because I do see OG kind of talking with people here and there. And boy, he has a license to talk shit if he really wants to, because he is him on that kind of front with the defense. Oh, yeah, he is. He is him. Let's see. MSJ saying, when the Yak trade happened, little Bobby told me that it was the worst move. I was stunned by his ignorance of the game. Now, look, little Bobby P, give it up, man. You're clueless and a disservice. Okay, yeah. Yeah. I mean, listen, we got track records. The receipts are all there. Every single fucking thing I've said for the last 2 years, you can go look it up in my archive. There's nothing that isn't been taken down. Even the most embarrassing shit that I've said on here that has been wrong, it's all there. We can start taking percentages. If somebody's really a stat freak and you want to go and look at everything I said and look at the accuracy of what I said and what happened, and you want to go take that idiot and do the same thing, I'll bet you my percentage is much higher free throw percentage than his. Yeah, I'll bet you. I mean, every day I say shit on this channel that turns out to be like, whoa, Lex was right. Lex was right. It was the ref crew, whether it's fucking talking about how we could win the Suns yesterday. There's a lot of different things that I say that end up coming to fruition. And, in some ways, you got to think about where you're getting your source of information. Is it dependable? Is it come out later that, wow, that guy was right? And that's what you got to kind of judge with some of the people that are making content about the Raptors. Do they have a track record that is sensible about how what they're saying is actually making any sense? And I'll put my record up against his any fucking day. Any fucking day. Things that I say out of my ass every single day. No filter. I'm not scripted. I'm saying this shit off the top of my head. I read y'all's comments and I just have a reaction and that's what I say. And in some ways, that's what it is. I don't know what that motherfucker thought about Jakob when he came here. He said some bullshit. He was wrong. And we see how good Jakob is. That's right. Cowboys saying the Suns played good. We just played better. Chef Darko. They didn't actually play that good, honestly. In some ways, the Suns had a lot of problems. There was a time in the game. I felt kind of bad about this, but it was like pick on Yuta game for a little bit there. It's like whoever Yuta is guarding, let's go at him and like just destroy him. And in some ways, we saw Gary burn him. We saw Scotty block the shit out of him. We saw OG and Pascal bullying on Yuta also. I felt bad because like they're friends. They all love Yuta. They spent time with him as a teammate, but they were picking on him. They very much were going right at him and scoring on him like crazy, which was awesome. And then Yuta was turning the ball over and not making shots the other end. I felt bad for Yuta, but also at the same time, I was like, yeah, Gary, cook him. You played him in practice. You can score on Yuta. So go take it to him and score over him. So, yeah, there was a little bit of picking on Yuta last night, which was interesting. But all smiles and happy to see the guys. And, he loves being back at Scotiabank Arena because we love him up here in Toronto. We love you, Yuta. But, yeah, it was fun scoring on you last night. And Scotty blocked the shit out of you, bro. He really blocked the shit out of him. I felt bad for Watanabe. But they don't have anything on their side. They really don't. I mean, Nurkic was good. He had a double-double, 19 points, 14 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 blocks, a +2, 8 of 12 from the field. Nurkic was probably their best player, honestly, although Durant was really good too. He did end up getting 30, 11 of 30 from the field, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal. But really, I mean, you look at that team and who's on that team, they're really so front heavy. So top heavy with those 3 top players. Everybody else don't get no money, and they have hardly a whole team. They have hardly a whole team because they have so much money tied up in 3 players. It's crazy. It is crazy. Yeah. Monica's saying that Raptors fans were saying Durant went out drinking with Drake last night. We mocked him tonight. He was such a crybaby to the refs. Go Raptors. Such a great win, of course. Yeah, that's interesting. It's probably very true. I will bet you money that is for sure true that Drake was with Kevin Durant on Tuesday night and they were probably hanging out. And I see it in their video. Like seriously, Drake had a video that came out last year and Kevin was all over it. Kevin was with him in a nightclub, drinking with him. And this is why this is probably very true. I mean, you can see it in the Drake video from times before. And if, like I said, Kevin could have they came in on Monday. They've been in Toronto since Monday, and that's a huge advantage the Raptors were at a disadvantage on, and the NBA loved that. Kevin, you can come be in Toronto for 2 days. What backfired? You let him hang out with Drake for a couple days, and boom. I don't even know if that mattered or not, though. Kevin just he's coming back from injury, so that's part of the reason why he was. He played really good for his first game back in a while. So I don't know. They're going to say this, and there's probably truth to it. It probably is very well true that Drake was hanging out with Kevin Durant on Tuesday, and they could have been partying. I don't know. I don't know for sure. Jimmy's saying, nameless, who said that about Scott? Pensair said that, Jimmy. Pensair said that. Fierce said it is a joint effort by the Raptors and OG Anunoby. Teamwork. I like that. Cowboys saying, who sucks? Who sucks? Fiercely saying, at nameless, I'm all in for Uncle Vincenzo. Uncle Vincenzo. Cowboys saying alley oop to Fiercey. All right, you got alley oop. Let's give an alley oop to Fiercey Salsera for being an awesome Raptor freak. Let's see. Mugarbe's here. Good to see Mugarbe. Morning, Raptors freaks. Lex, can you tell me why when we win and Scotty plays good, why is all the fans keep saying let's trade Pascal? Believe it or not, Scotty and Pascal need each other. You know what it is? Listen, Mugarbe, I'm going to say this right now. Every single person that talks about the Raptors on social media, you need to look at them individually. And you need to really listen to their motives and what they're saying. I'm telling y'all, this is where you need to cut people off or mute them or block them. If they are talking like they're not saying something that is for the team or helping the team, if they're saying something like y'all need to get rid of OG, y'all need to get rid of Pascal, know that they are somebody from another fan nation acting like they are one of us and they're trying to give advice. And part of the reason why they do this, Mugarbe, is because they see what we're building and they're scared the hell out of it. So their best way of weaponizing and fighting against it is to act like the Raptors fans, come online and start saying shit like, oh, they need to trade Siakam. They need to trade Siakam because they're scared. They're scared the hell. And the people, if you hear the statements, read them and say, well, is this for the Raptors? If you're want to get rid of OG or Pascal, you're not for the Raptors. I'm going to say that right now, because you can obviously see these guys work and they're playing really well, and we have a really bright future with them together. If you're saying stuff like, we need to fire Masai, he's not doing very good, the front office is garbage, that is not somebody who's for the Raptors. I'm going to tell you that right now. They want to take away our best people, and our best people are Masai Ujiri, Pascal Siakam, OG Anunoby, and Scotty Barnes. And if anybody's talking about any of these people leaving Toronto, they are not Toronto fans. They are not Toronto fans. There are people that are masquerading on social media and acting like they're Toronto fans to perpetuate stupid shit, and they hope some of the real Toronto fans will catch on board with them and push it even further. So I want every single one of the Raptors Nation, Raptors Freak family, to, when you look and see people putting opinions out there after games, listen to them, and they will tell you who they are. If they are saying shit that is anti-Raptors on the down low, you will feel it. And when they talk about they need to get rid of Pascal, well, they're scared because they know Siakam and Anunoby and Barnes as a trio going forward is dangerous for everybody in this league. So it's basically they're telling you who they are when they say shit like that. Oh, y'all need to trade Pascal. They may even out themselves. They say the Raptors need to do this. Well, wait, whoa. Why are you saying them or them instead of us and we? We find that in this chat all the time. People will come in here, new people, and they'll say something and they'll slip. And they'll let it be known that they're not actually with us, because they'll say something like, well, y'all need to do this. And I'm like, whoa, wait. I thought you were Raptors Nation. Why all of a sudden you saying y'all? So very much know this, that people that are talking about getting rid of Pascal are not in our nation. They're not actually Raptors fans. Because if you're a real Raptors fan, you want to keep our champion, our second banana behind Kawhi Leonard on our team for the longest time possible. And the reason why is because they want to erase all the memories of our NBA championship in 2019. So you get rid of Siakam, there's no visible faces that connect to that period in the footage. Just like Draymond, Steph, and Clay run around in Golden State Warriors jerseys still, they've tried to erase our championship team by dismantling it to people every summer since we won it. And that's what I'm saying. Siakam needs to stay as long as possible, because visually he represents our championship, and every single person is reminded of it every time they see him. So remember this, Mugabe. When you hear these people, mute them. When you hear these people, call them out and say, you're not actually for the Raptors if you think Siakam needs to leave. They'll tell you who they are very plainly and in truth, because they can't help but show their motives. It's about motives. What are these people's motives? Well, you want this for Scotty? Oh, you want this for this individual player? Or do you want this because your team is actually the New York Knicks and you want to fucking destroy us? That's what I'm saying. Figure it out. Listen to their voices and they'll tell you exactly who they are. I am for everything that is for the Raptors. Anything that hurts our team, I'm against. And that's a big difference. Some of these people are not for the Raptors. They're for Scotty first. Some of these people are not for the Raptors. They're actually for the other teams that we play against. And they act like they're on our fan nation. So very much, if somebody comes in, they say, no, I'm actually a Raptors fan. Bullshit. Don't listen to them. Even if you are a Raptors fan and you're saying this kind of shit, we don't need to hear your opinion, because it's not for anything good for the Raptors, especially if you want to ship out Siakam. So there you go, Mugabe. I hope that answered your question. Each individual person you hear comment on the Raptors, listen to their voice. And is it a pro Raptors voice, a voice for good things for the Raptors, or not? And you will tell you whether you need to listen to them or not. I would just mute the hell out of all the ones that you shouldn't, is what I say right there. Yeah. Cowboys saying, what, Nameless? I see you, alley-oop. All right. He sees him with some thugs coming down the street and ready to hurt some people, it sounds like. Let's see. Seymour saying, Canadian Cowboy dishing out the oops. What up, bro? He's like Dennis Schroeder. It's like Cowboy's doing his Dennis Schroeder impersonation today. Tristan's here. Love to see Tristan Phipps. Great energy and effort. That's how we play. Yeah, we get the right Raptors on the right nights, on the right days. Yeah, we can play like this. We can beat any team. I want to beat the shit out of the Knicks now. You know, listen to this, y'all. Think about this. Yeah, we didn't make the in-season tournament next round. You know what? Who gives a fuck? We beat Phoenix. They're in the in-season tournament still. We beat Indiana last Wednesday. They're in the in-season tournament still. We beat Milwaukee already. They're in the in-season tournament. And we beat New York on Friday night. We will have beaten 4 out of the 8 teams that are in the in-season tournament already this season. And that says a lot right there that these teams that are in the in-season tournament, well, a lot of them have got L's from us already this season. So let's go ahead and beat the Knicks tomorrow night, and we'll make a fourth team in the in-season tournament a victim of us. That's what I'm saying. That's right. 3 down. Let's get one more. Yeah, and we'll see the Lakers at some point. We'll see the Kings at some point. Yeah, we saw the Kings in preseason. We beat them then. All right, let's keep going. Cowboys saying Mountain Standard Time. Bam. And Monica's saying, so proud of Precious. He sounded so cheerful in his post-game interview. Everyone sounded great in their interviews too, though. They're very grounded and smart, and they're being smart about this. I'm excited. The prospects of what the Raptors can develop and become under Darko with Scotty leading it are very, very good. Very, very good. Fiercey saying, and to think that Frank Vogel is labeled as a defensive mastermind. Oh, well, Darko gave him a master class. Bam. You know, I'm not impressed with Frank Vogel. I think he's a sham coach. I think in some ways he was like a second choice for them. Like in some ways they really wanted Nick. They really wanted Nick in Phoenix. They probably wanted a couple of different people that they didn't get. And Frank Vogel's a sham. He's a sham. He's a champion coach, but really he's not the reason why that championship happened for the Lakers. I've never believed in Frank Vogel. And honestly, his coaching job yesterday was absolute garbage. So if I was a Suns fan, I wouldn't be thrilled about Frank Vogel being the coach. In some ways, he's like a superstar coach. He just kind of fades in the background. Let Kevin run this team. And he's not really a good coach. That you are one of those LeBron coaches that are kind of like, a puppet and just kind of a sham while LeBron's actually running your team. Yeah, that's kind of what this is. And they knew that Frank Vogel could be that kind of coach with big personalities like Devin Booker and Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal on it. The coaches are the players. Frank Vogel is just there, kind of holding that job is kind of what it is. Monica's saying, I said yesterday in the stream we would win. Yeah, you did. And I said it too. A lot of us believed. That's right. Tristan's saying we'd be an even better defense with Pac-12 All Defensive Player of the Year, Koloko. Yes, we would, Tristan. Golly. Get that man some Mucinex or whatever the fuck. Get him some hot mustard pack on his chest, like bare chested with some fucking shit on there. Get this shit broken up and get the fucking capillaries and fucking lung sacs going all fucking better for Gloco right away, please. Please, Dr. McKechnie. Get that man into a sauna for fucking 12 hours and get all the breathing through his windpipes and get that moisture running through and just get him, we're going to fucking sweat it out of you, Koloko. We're going to sweat that problem you have right now. Get whatever the fuck y'all have to do. Get experimental. Fucking do some Eastern science fucking shit, Western science. I don't give a shit. Do some crazy shit and just try something with Koloko to fix his respiratory illness. Whatever you can, mustard packs, hot mustard. Put that fucking hot mustard on his chest and get him breathing right. Holy crap, come on now. We would be better with him as our backup center. Oh, yeah, lots more blocks. Cowboys saying yes, yes, and yes, Tristan. Bam. And G saying the refs were atrocious again last night. I won't say that. I won't say that. Bill Kennedy's, he can't screw you over with a smile. Yeah, but, Danica was a little troublesome at times. Nick Booker was fine, although there was one call he was a little weird, but I won't say they were anything like the night before with Ed Malloy and Ashley Moyer-Gleish and Matt Boland. No, that ref crew on Tuesday was way worse. The ref crew last night was okay. It was okay. It could have been worse. It could have been way worse, G, honestly. I only saw like a couple of manipulations, like that Danica travel call, the kickball call that wiped out Gary's three. That was really the only one that really pissed me off. The rest of them were, there was a little bit of weirdness with foul calls. And when the Suns got into the bonus, they got in the bonus early again. And that was manipulative in the second half. But for the most part, they didn't force what they wanted in the games like so strong. They allowed us the room to carry and win. And that's what happened. In some ways, it's like when they shut the door completely, like Ed Malloy did on Tuesday, that's when I'm like, that's atrocious. But in some ways, they allowed us a chance and a path to win against the Suns, and it happened. And that's all we really want, referees. We want to win on our own merits. We don't need you to carry us. We just don't want you to stop us either. And in some ways, y'all very much are impeding us from trying to win, for sure. Mugabe is saying if Pascal was playing for an American team, he would average about 28 to 30 with all the contact, and he'd get to go to the rack. Yeah, you get more free throws probably. You're right. It's just part of it. In some ways, these guys understand this, and that's why they're so badass. They got to be that much better. Wayne's saying Pascal said it best. Consistency is their chemistry playing together. That's the goal. We won by playing up to our potential. And as an apologist for Pat Precious Achua, I'm glad he had a good game. There you go, Wayne. Yeah, we look good after yesterday. Listen, I'm Precious is going to have way better games more often than shit the bed kind of games. He really is. And yes, Siakam's exactly right. Chemistry is so key to our team. They really need to be connected and connecting and passing and just looking for each other and finding joy off of each other. Part of it is those beautiful plays and the alley oops and all that kind of stuff. It really makes the team feel like a synergy, and that really increases, it snowballs, and it makes the team play with even more positive like confidence and connectedness going forward. That's the problem. If you're disconnected, you're not doing things. Like I said, the beginning of the game, Scotty's got to make the first free throws. He's the first one to go to the line, and they're so important. The first free throws that you take at the beginning of the game set the tone for how the free throws are going to go for the whole game. Scotty steps up to the line and he nails the first two free throws the Raptors have to play. Boom! All of a sudden, we shoot 86% from the free throw line. You put the wrong guy at the free throw line at the beginning of the game, and they miss a couple. Well, we might be missing most of our free throws for the rest of the game. It really is a very interesting thing how chemistry and synergy and how the team's going overall can affect each other. You miss a couple shots and everybody's kind of, and then other people are missing more shots. You make some shots, people are more confident, it buoys them, they make more shots. So it really is, you got to keep that good energy and connection going, and that will make everything all right. Fiercely saying, idiot only cares about Scotty. So if Scotty goes elsewhere, he will also trash the other team to help Scotty's come up. Now that's totally creepy. I'm sorry, such a loser. No, I would have guessed this, that he's an American that wants Scotty to play on an American team, and he doesn't like him being in Canada. That in some ways he wants him out of here, and he may want him on a very specific team in the States. And that if Scotty goes to that team, he will shut up and he'll be not as disgruntled. I think it really is that he's a Scotty fan. He wants him on a different team in the States. And until he gets that, he's going to continue to be negative in our fan nation on all things having to do with Scotty. Robert Pence there in a nutshell, right there. What I just said. I think that's what it is. Like, say he's like a New York fan. He's actually a Knicks fan. And if Scotty ended up on the Knicks all of a sudden, he probably would not do this. I'll bet you money he would probably stop. He's totally a loser. Totally loser. Jimmy saying, "Oh, I'd love to see him in person." if seriously, if Country Kong brought him to our meet and greet, it could be very interesting. Very, very interesting. Blackhawk saying Voldemort. Yeah, motherfucker, fucking piece of shit looking like a fucking beluga whale, fucking ugly ass face, motherfucker. Blackhawk saying word on the street, Coloco will be back soon. I like that word. I don't know where you're hearing it from, Neil. An unconfirmed source, but if that's true and it's coming that way, I love that. That would be great. We need an early Christmas present. How about that? Chris is saying, I have to get going. This burner cost me 20 hours of laundry details. The whites. Have a good day, everyone. All right, Chris, whatever you're doing there, I just wish you well. And I hope you're not being honest. Whatever. Starstream saying, hey, man, just want to say that all New Yorkers aren't like him. Laugh out loud. I don't cover other teams' players. Starscream, listen, you're awesome, man. You're a friendly Nets fan, and we enjoy your presence here. We have a couple of fans on other fan nations. We have a couple Sixers fans we're very cool with also, which is very interesting. But yeah, listen, I don't even know he's from New York. I don't know his whole story. It's just, it's weird when you have a YouTube content maker that is so like negative and destructive and just not good for your fan nation. And why the fuck are people in our fan nation following him? Is what I continue to ask and wonder. You think that he's got basketball acumen? You like what he breaks down plays and shit? Motherfucker knows basketball like my little finger and fucking basketball bullshit. Yeah, no, if I had the fancy like setting up and calling plays and showing it all y'all would learn way more from me. In fact, that you can ask people that watch me do watch alongs for FIBA this summer how I really point shit out really quickly and say different basketball stuff. If you really love that kind of stuff, you don't have to go to Robert for it. Just trust me on that. Tristan saying Cowboy adapt, and Blackhawks saying basically Raptors pretenders are trying to steal Scotty, Pascal, and OG. Beware the agenda of the fraudsters trying to take our players. Exactly. And Masai is the other one. Everybody who says that they want to fire Masai is because they want him to come and run their team somewhere else. So understand this. Have the people that are complaining about Masai are other teams that lust for him. And then the other half are people that are paid by Ed Rogers III, that he has a vendetta against Masai. So that you guys got to understand everything that's at work, the different powers. David, thank you. Donation on behalf of Nameless for the swear jar. There you go. Nameless, he just paid for you for fucking bringing up fuckface today. And I don't want to talk about him anymore, y'all. Seriously, if you have a comment that relates to him in the future in my chat right now, just retract it, because I don't want to keep bringing him up. Seriously, I don't. Mugarbe's saying, Lex, why do you think they want Pascal traded? Because if they trade Pascal, it's hard for Scotty to reach his full potential because Scotty can do it by himself. I think that they, like I said earlier, Mugarbe, they know that we're too powerful with too many good players. And as soon as you get you have one good player, Siakam already, and OG's a good player too. And then all of a sudden Scotty's on the uprise. Well, they start to get freaked out and they're like, well, we need to get some of their guys out of there. And with Siakam is very specific. Like I said, he is a ring guy. He is an NBA champion. They barely ever say Pascal Siakam NBA champion on broadcast ever, do they? No, they don't, because they don't want to put the shine on that aspect of his career, which he has over pretty much most of the NBA. He has that over Embiid. He has that over Jason Tatum. He has that over a lot of their young superstars like Luka Doncic. And in some ways, they don't put on blast that Siakam is an all-star MVP type player that has a ring. And in some ways, they want to kill that for taking him off a team, because he's a very prominent NBA champion in this league. So they want to wipe the memory of 2019 Raptors championship away as much as possible. So some of those people that want to get rid of Siakam, they may think it's for Scotty, and some of the people want it because they want to wipe the championship memory off our team. And that's a big part of it right there, Mugarbe. Cowboys saying, alley-oop, Uncle David. Let's grow, everyone. Smash the like button. All right, Uncle David's getting another dunk for being a good uncle. All right. Fiercely saying, take care of the MSJ. Yeah, don't get shanked, bro. Don't get shanked like Chauvin. Cowboys here. Good to see. Oh, no. Country Kong's here. Good to see JP. Good morning, Raptors Freaks. Lex, what a great game. Oh, my gosh. That game was awesome. Great plays on both sides. Dennis had a filthy pass. Fourth quarter Scotty is him. Drake in the locker room was cool. Yeah, man. Wasn't it cool, Country Kong? I love that game so much. It's going to be one I'm going to remember for a long time. If anything, just for that filthy pass that you're referring to. That filthy, ball sweaty pass that got thrown to Pascal. And he converted it, even though the nutmeg was happening there. That was so awesome. Cowboys saying, Country Kong in the house. Bam, that's right. Meet him in the dog park, and maybe you'll see You Shall Not Be Named there too. You bring him, Country Kong, bring Idiot down to the dog park that y'all were at the other night. And we all want to talk to him over there. Bring him on down for a sec. We have something we want to say to him. Fiercely saying, Drake and Kevin also have a business partnership. Saw it on both their IGs. They're very close. Like, seriously, Drake might be the closest with Kevin Durant out of anybody in the league. He may be even more close to him than our guys like Kyle and Fred and DeMar. You know, he's very close to those guys, but Kevin's another level in some ways. Like I said, Kevin appears in his stuff all the time. Like, he is in a few of his videos. And like, whenever Kevin comes to town, you notice Drake is at the game. He's sitting at courtside whenever Kevin actually is coming into play, whether it was the Nets before and now the Suns. So Wayne's saying, Darko apologized for only giving Boucher 3 minutes. That's just greatness in coaching. I'm hoping last night Win woke up our players to understand teamwork and feeding the hot hand works for wins. You know, the funny thing is, I'm sure Chris wasn't even that upset about only playing 3 minutes. In some ways, he's already gained Chris's trust, Darko, because, you know, he benched him the first game of the season, but he's given him chances to come in there and shine. He's gotten the chain on a certain night, and Chris has been very useful. In some ways, that's all Chris wants. It's not about being the man or doing this. He wants the team to win. He said that. He's like, I don't care about anything other than helping the Raptors win. And I know that I'm a role player, and there's certain things that I need to do to help the team win. Well, in some ways, Chris is not going to complain if he only plays 3 minutes and doesn't do anything if we get that win over Kevin Durant. So he's very, very happy, even though he didn't play. And he probably didn't need that apology from Darko, but it also helps because it also shows that, like, man, he did intend to play me more. And he's actually owning up to it and holding himself accountable for his oversight. That is huge. When your coach shows he's accountable, that means that everybody on the team has to be able to be accountable for what their responsibilities are. And that is good because you don't want a coach that's untouchable and can't be held accountable. Nobody will respect that because they'll be like, oh, well, he doesn't have to own up to his mistakes. Why should I own up to mine as a player? See, that's a very healthy work environment. Let's just say that. Isaac saying W at David. Yeah, there you go. And good morning, Isaac. Bam, bam from the Cowboy. And Cowboys getting dapped from Country Kong. And Monique saying Pirtle Power. That's right. Teenage Mutant Pirtle Power. Teenage Mutant Pirtle Power. Teenage Mutant Pirtle Power. Austrian with a hammer. Yeah, Turtle Power. Austrian with a hammer. Pirtle Power. Yeah, that's the way I should have done it. That's pretty good. Let's see. Carlos dapping, dap, 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 dap. So many non-calls on Siakam last night. Yeah, that's just the lay of the land. We just know this. It won. No, no, no. It's just how it is. That's why you just got to convert it. Just make it, Siakam. They're not going to give you the foul. Get the offensive rebound and put it back. Just be relentless. Go over and over until you make that fucking shot. That's just what it is. I love the second effort. Once again, the MVP of last night is second effort. Second effort. All kinds of second effort and all kinds of different plays, whether it's rebounds or getting the ball loose on the floor, getting after it and getting to it. It was some scrambling balls all over the place, people rolling around on the ground trying to get the ball. There was a lot of scrambling for loose balls, and second effort was a big part of it. Darko said after the game, we had a record this season for deflections, 44 deflections in the game last night. You saw it. Every time the Suns were trying to do things on offense, we were poking the ball out of bounds. It's going out of bounds. They had the reset. There's a lot of good energy defensively, just really screwing them up. It was awesome. So awesome. David saying, haha, the officials are pathetic. If we play well, we win anyway. Well, that's what it is, David. This is the thing that people got to understand. Why do Raptors fans really overvalue our players and think they're so talented? This is a thing that people are saying around the league. Oh, delusional Raptor fans are going to think their team's so much better, even though they lost to Brooklyn last night. Well, motherfucker, did you see us play Phoenix the night after? Yeah, that's what I would say. There's a reason why we're delusional about this, because first of all, y'all discount them all crazy. Like the esteem that Siakam and Anunoby personally should be getting is way higher in the attention, but y'all discount them. So we are part of the counterbalance to really promote them and think highly of them. And the other thing, this is the secret. The Raptors get the shaft with the officials on a regular basis. So in some ways, Bobby and Masai from the very start have to calculate and make this team overly talented and badass to compensate for the unfair disadvantages of our team. So forgive us, rest of the NBA, for understanding the truth about our team, that we are really super talented and badass, because we have more to overcome than the average NBA team in this league. It's like Masai has to have these guys vision 6'9" and the way they are with defense and being so overpowering with their length to counterbalance the unfairness from officiating in the schedule and other things like that. So forgive us for knowing the truth that our team is actually super, super good. And y'all say we overvalue them. Well, we know the truth that these guys play at a high level because they have to overcome so much more. And y'all's teams can win by 1 point with the skin of your teeth because the refs ain't fucking with you. We got to beat teams by 15 to beat them by 1, because that's the way the NBA does teams that they don't want to win. So in some ways, our thinking that our team is super talented is true, because we are getting wins against the grain that doesn't want us to get wins. So yeah, that's the truth right there. And you know what? We are badass. We just beat the Phoenix Suns. We had no business doing that in the eyes of most of the NBA. Cowboys saying Starscream alley-oop. You want alley-oop for Nets fan today? All right, we're feeling nice and funny. We're gonna give our first dunk to Starscream, a Nets fan. So yeah, all right, Bradley, you want to throw the ball over there to them? All right, let's go. Starscream saying, "No, I love KD. He's the best player I've ever seen play for the Nets. He could have went to the Knicks, but he chose us." You know, there's more and more coming out. In fact, this is a good segue kind of to talk about the Knicks and our game on Friday. There's a big article on ESPN this morning about the lawsuit with the Knicks with the Raptors. And it really goes through and talks a lot in detail about the perception about this around the league and just how much this really is just a personal vendetta that James Dolan has with Larry Tannenbaum and Adam Silver. In some ways, he's pissed at the NBA, and he's trying to cause all kinds of annoying problems with the publicity about this lawsuit. And in some ways, it's a frivolous lawsuit. Most people in the NBA understand this is stupid. And for James Dolan to prove anything of wrongdoing for the Raptors, it's a long shot. And in some ways, it's really just him being a big middle finger to Larry Tannenbaum and just trying to be a dick. Well, part of what has been coming to light lately is that this is part of the reason why people like Kevin Durant do not want to play for the Knicks, is that they understand James Dolan is an absolute douche. And it has really kept away big names like LeBron and Kevin Durant from ever playing for the Knicks. People hate you that much, James Dolan. And in some ways, you can get those Villanova boys to show up and all have a little Villanova clubhouse on your team right now. But none of the big, huge names in this league want to come and play for your team because you're a dick. And yeah, that's just how it is at this point. That's why he went to y'all, is because James Dolan is a fucking asshole. And none of the main players in this league like him or want to play for him. And in some ways, he really has hurt that Knicks franchise. I want to hurt them some more personally in the game on Friday by beating their ass and handing them an L. Yeah, that's what I want coming up. Yeah, so you're a big KD fan and stuff. Okay. I respect the hell out of Kevin. And in some ways, I love the fact that he was a childhood Raptors fan and that he has a weird relationship with us. In some ways, he has immense respect for our franchise that some people just don't. And I really do respect Kevin back the same way. Mischief saying, great win against a great team. I'm getting laid off tomorrow until April. Yikes, Mischief. I hate hearing that about you and your job. Hopefully you'll bounce back. You'll find other ways to supplement your income and good things will happen for you this winter. Man, I hate hearing that. If there's any way Raptor Street family can help you, we will. Maybe Bradley could get some extra hands. I don't know. Maybe you could help him with Tada or whatever skills you have, Mischief. But anyway, Raptor Street family can help you and network. We will try and help you, I'm sure. But yeah, I don't like hearing that, Jay. But yeah, great win last night. And I saw you in the comments in different places. I saw you representing us in the Raptors Freak Raptors Tonight chat last night. I saw you make that comment there, Jay, promoting this channel. I appreciate you for that. Carlos saying, like you said, Lex, this team gives me those championship Detroit team vibes. That's what I'm saying, Carlo. I saying this like on the chat on Facebook yesterday, that in some ways this team reminds me of the Ben Wallace Detroit Pistons championship team. That the way that they cut the water off on teams sometimes defensively is just so overpowering. In some ways, we have that kind of defensive acumen and strength as a team. And in some ways, those kind of teams steal championships when they have no business to win them. Nobody thought the Pistons were going to beat the Lakers that year in the finals and win that championship. It really went off script. And in some ways, the way they went off script was the very overwhelmingly good defense that they had that year. Rasheed Wallace, Ben Wallace, Chauncey Billups, Rip Hamilton, Tayshaun Prince. Yeah, you know that team I'm talking about. Wayne saying, you have a point, Lexicon, in our matchup against Western teams, but that has always been. What I see is that we're dominating Eastern teams, but we will still lose. That means it's mental. No, you know what it is? It's the refs. I'm going to tell you this right now, Wayne. In the games we played against, all right, first of all, think about this. We played Philly, Milwaukee, and Boston, the three top Eastern teams right now, all twice already this year. We played them before Darko had really established things with his play system, and that's by design. And then also the games were really jam-packed together. In fact, the two games against Nick were scheduled losses a second night of back-to-back, both of them. Now, the Milwaukee games, we split. We actually won one of the Milwaukee games, which was awesome. And then the Boston games, well, there's a lot of ref manipulation around these games, is what you've got to understand. They understand that when we play Eastern teams, it has playoff implications for series and whether we will get in the playoffs. So much like last year when we were tied with Atlanta, but we lost the tiebreaker because of a horrible loss to AJ Griffin on a bad play last year, that really hurt us. So in some ways, if you're thinking about it, Wayne, the NBA, if they want to hurt us in the playoffs picture in the East, they're going to hurt us against Eastern opponents where it matters. But if they let us play normal against the West, we're going to kick the shit out of them because it doesn't matter how we play them for season series and playoff implications. So that's a big part of it. On the download, the invisible hand of the NBA and Adam Silver is guiding the Raptors to have losing records against Eastern teams so that the playoff implications hurt us at the end of the year. That's a big part of it right there, Wayne. When you're talking about Raptors versus Western teams and Raptors versus Eastern teams this year, it's a very concerted effort by the NBA to hurt us and not let us have a good playoff position. So it's a really what it is. And they've done it with the schedule and they've done it with the refs. Two different ways. Ed Malloy very much making things happen for Brooklyn in the game this week. That's a division rival. They want the Nets to have a winning season series against us. So they give them a win right away. And it's an IST. And it helps the Celtics continue in the IST tournament. So there's a lot of things they checked off with us making sure we lost to Brooklyn on Tuesday night, because there were a lot of things we could have fucked up with their script writing, as far as Boston being out, Orlando going forward, as far as Brooklyn being leapfrogged in the Atlantic Division standings because the Raptors are higher record than them all of a sudden. Yeah, there's a lot of different reasons why they wanted us to make sure we lost. And that's why they sent the most manipulative, best at doing this his job, Ed Malloy. Ed Malloy is the best ref manipulator in the league right now. And every time you see him, you should be suspicious. You should. And usually it's against the Raptors if he's around. Because listen, he's undefeated. It's just like Scott Foster with Chris Paul. Ed Malloy will come and he will give us an L no matter what. It may be a 2-point L. It may be a 3-point L. It may be a very close L. But if he's there to stop the Raptors. Just know that. You see that Opie Taylor looking motherfucker, know that he's coming for do bad things to us. Monique is saying that late 3-pointer by Dennis in the fourth, we erupted. Chef's kiss. Chef's kiss approved. That's right. Shir Khan saying, that's right, Lex. Dennis did level up with Germany, and we're a lucky recipient of a new and improved version, playing a basketball version of Hot Potato. He's feeling good with this family in Toronto. What's not to like? Everything's going real smooth. And man, he is enjoying himself. I can tell. It's tough because like there's ups and downs with this team for sure. And they can feel lows recently for sure. But man, he's got to feel like the overall trajectory and what we're doing here is very worthwhile and there's very good progress. And he is smart enough and savvy enough as a longstanding vet in this league to understand the ups and downs of an NBA season. And man, he's such a good leader. Is really good at getting the guys together on the court. You notice how he brings them together for huddles, and he really kind of touches base with every one of them and getting them to know where they're supposed to be and what they're doing on defense. So he's really being a good leader right now. Fiercey saying, Coach Darko for the win. That's right, Fiercey. And Country Khan saying, Lex, I have to say it again. Last night's game was fantastic. Scotty was flying all over the place, blocking shots, Euro step dunks, confident threes. Raptors can beat any team in the NBA on any given night. This is truth. This is truth. I don't care which team it is. And I don't even care if they send a ref hit job squad. If we play at a high level, we can beat it all. 8 on 3, 8 on 5. Doesn't matter. That's why I'm kind of upset about the Tuesday night game, because I really do believe, as much as the NBA really didn't want us to beat Brooklyn, we could have absolutely done it if we converted better in the last 5 minutes of that game. We could have carried and gone off script and screwed up everything Adam Silver wanted. Seriously, we could have really fucked up a lot of things on Tuesday night if these guys had really absolutely powered through and overcame the 8 on 5 with the 3 referees helping the Nets. If we had done that, it would have been awesome. And in fact, that's what we did when we won the championship. We went against the script. We were so good. That's why people, when they say that, oh, you wouldn't have beat the Warriors if KD and Klay Thompson had been fully healthy, I don't believe them, because the Raptors had to be so overwhelmingly talented and so good to go against the whole machine of the NBA and win the 2019 championship. I don't give a shit if Kevin was healthy the whole series. I don't give a shit if Klay Thompson had not gotten hurt. We would have beat y'all's ass no matter what, because we were a team of destiny and we were going to write that script that year, no matter what, to have a Toronto Raptors championship. At that point, once we beat Philadelphia with that shot with Kawhi, and then we took care of coming back against Milwaukee in the next round, we were unstoppable. And there was nothing Golden State could have done, healthy-wise or not, to have beaten us that year. We were just that team, and we flipped the script against what the NBA wanted. They wanted the Warriors to win that finals. You know they did. And they even had refereeing that was going against us for a while. But at a certain point, they had to give up because they knew we were just going to beat them. That is how badass the Raptors' first NBA championship is. We went off the script. They did not want this to happen. Seriously, it's amazing. Cowboys saying, you know it, Country Kong. There you go. You know it, my man. All right, let's keep going with the comments. Where am I? Because I jumped ahead. Let's see, where am I on here? Oh, Tupac's here again. I love it. Tupac Shakur was right. He came in and he said it yesterday, right at the end. He said, look at this. And he was right. He is right. Let's see, where am I? Where am I? I am okay here. Nako. Who's saying Dennis is selfish? Even when he wasn't on the Raptors, he's pretty unselfish given his situations. Yeah, I don't understand that. They're just trying to take Fred out of this equation and insert Dennis. It's not the same person. It's a very different kind of thing. Sure, you could have said some things about Fred being selfish, but you can't say that about Dennis. You really can't. Fiercely saying at mischief, sorry about that. Hope you'll be okay. Yeah, looking out for you, bro. Any kind of way we can help you in some ways, we'll try. In some ways, there's a lot of holiday jobs that pop up just for the season. So maybe you can get something that'll carry you over till April that is seasonal or something. You know, the holiday jobs could be there. They need extra people in stores or they need extra people for this or something. Now, I don't even know what your background in trades or what kind of skills you have. You could very well be very good at something and it may be easy for you to find something else. But we wish you well, especially right now. Let's see. Wayne saying Scotiabank Arena is rated as the 8th best in the NBA. The team got to defend home every time, making it hell for all opponents to play here. Beat their ass in their luxurious arena, not so for the chairs. I mean, we have a great arena, and our team and our players and our coach really love the fans' energy. They really love what y'all are bringing down there. Y'all listen to me. Every time the other team has the ball, chant defense. I don't care what the score is, whether we're up 20 or down 20. Just chant defense regardless every single time the other team has the ball. Get loud. Y'all are getting better and better as time goes on, fans. You're doing a great job bringing noise at different times in the game when in the past you would be very quiet at different times of the game. So keep bringing the noise, like Anthrax would say. Bring the noise. That's right. Let's see. Cowboys saying, no worries, mischief. One door closes, another one opens. That's right. That's right. And hopefully something really good. A new chapter is coming for you and hopefully really good stuff. Country Kong saying Scotty's moving different. During his post-game interview, he said he has that dog in him. Drake in the locker room saying, my dog has the chain. For someone Scott's age, that's like confidence plus 9,000. I love that he made the adjustments. I really was coming down hard on Scotty yesterday morning in the stream reaction to the Brooklyn game, and rightfully so. But man, whatever he did, whether it was just listened or maybe he got mentally right, whatever he did the right thing. Whether it was Darko and the coaching staff giving him instruction, getting him on the right page, then they reminded him, you are an overwhelmingly good, dominant player near the basket. Go do that. Whatever it was, he did it and he changed and he made it a whole other thing. And in some ways, he showed us some stuff. Man, there's going to be more expectations in some ways, but also a lot more like joy from what is possible with Scotty in the future. Oh my gosh, he is moving different. You're exactly right, Country Kong. And it is that dog. He wants to be that dog. He heard Patrick Beverly. You know, I saw it on Twitch when he saw this. When he found out what Patrick said. I saw his live reaction because he was on Twitch at that time, Country Kong. I know you know your Twitch family too. And somebody brought it up in the chat. They're saying, did you hear what Patrick Beverly said about the Raptors? And Scotty was like, what? What? And he went on the computer and he typed in Patrick Beverly and he was watching it. He was like, kind of like, and he heard what he said, that there's no dogs on the Raptors. And he kind of was like, and he didn't comment at that moment. And then he was on the stream for very little time after that. It was kind of like it annoyed him. And then he did get off Twitch at that point. So it's like, yeah, I could tell that rubbed him the wrong way when he heard what Patrick Beverly said and near the beginning of the season. And well, he's trying to prove him wrong. He's going to show him he's got canine in him, just like his little, beautiful little baby dog, Cardi. That's right. He's got that dog in him. That's right. He does. Monique saying, I'm glad Scotty woke up after last game. When Scotty gets it in his head, it's not the prettiest sight. But last night, wow. You know, in some ways, he showed improvement, just like Precious showed improvement at the free throw line. Scotty showed improvement from one game to the next as far as like engaging with the referees when the calls aren't going your way. That there wasn't any of these lapses where he stood at the court and didn't get back on defense. There was very much a key on getting back in transition defense much better than we did against Brooklyn. There were only a couple times when the Suns had transition baskets that embarrassed us because we didn't get back, but not very often. There were maybe one or two plays like that last night, whereas there were way many more in other games recently. So I like that the Raptors are taking a more dedicated approach to transition defense and getting back quickly, not letting other teams get quick baskets. Because it was very limited last night on that, limited on that. And that's like an improvement right there. Scott, you didn't get in your head with the refs and take away from our defense because of it. Thank you. Thank you. Carlos saying, please, someone in the coaching staff, let Precious watch some Dennis Rodman videos. He can be that guy. Precious should specialize in rebounding so he'll stay in the league longer. This is hilarious, Carlo, that you bring this up. I met Jakob Pertl in his second year on the Raptors in Kensington Market. I was sitting on my front porch and I saw him walking down Dundas Street at Kensington Avenue with two young ladies. And it was the middle of summer. It was August. I ran across the street to Jakob and I said, hey, Jakob, what's up, man? And I got to meet him and I took a picture with him. What I told him that time, and this is when he was a baby, him and Siakam, this is like 7 years ago, guys, as I'm talking about. I said to him, tell Siakam to watch more Dennis Rodman videos so he can become a premium defender, rebounder in this league and defender. And Jakob said this to me. He said, oh, Rodman, that's old school shit, man. And I was like, it's funny, but like he heard me. And I don't know if Jakob ever went back to Pascal and told him, go watch him. Because in some ways, I was limiting Siakam in my mind at that time because he was still a role player and he was in the 905 and he had not become what he's become since. I really only saw Siakam as being like a Rodman type player because he had a very similar frame, a very similar motor, and same athleticism. So it's like, well, if he could be like Dennis Rodman, he'd be amazing, not knowing that he would be more like Scottie Pippen than Dennis Rodman when he got really good. And I really limited Pascal in my mind is what I thought. When I think back to that, that's what I think of. So these guys are well aware of watching Rodman. I know particularly Chris has definitely been studying Rodman. So if Precious is around Chris and their DX and their tag team buddies, they probably do watch Rodman together. Because I know that Chris for a while last year was posting Rodman highlights and likening himself to it. And a lot of the stuff that Chris Boucher is doing on the offensive boards is very much Dennis Rodman-esque. Totally from Dennis Rodman's old playbook as far as wiggling in there and being a worm and getting in there and stealing offensive rebounds with the other team around him. So, yeah, there is a very heavy influence of Dennis Rodman on some of our players. Chris Boucher, number one, but I don't mind this. In some ways, Precious is learning from the school of Rodman, I'm sure. And he probably does study Rodman already. Monique is saying, let Pascal be Pascal. 100%. That's right. Fiercely saying, a Canadian cowboy who sucks or who sucks. He does. Haha. Not our Scotty, a.k.a. number 4 pick. Yeah. Suggs? Who? What? Carlos saying Superfan Mo should be in the Fans Hall of Fame along with Nav. I agree with this. You know, the Raptors have a hierarchy of very good super fans. You know, Drake is a super fan in a lot of ways. Nav is the most well-known super fan in the league. In fact, he's in Naismith Hall of Fame. You know, in some ways, I get it. You know, Monique is a super fan that needs to be in the Hall of Fame also. I completely agree with this. She's been a diehard and a number one fan since the beginning. She has always been Raptors for a long, long time. I know because I've seen her around for a long, long time. And she's becoming up more and more in prominence in different spotlight things, whether it's Google, whether it's Tangerine, whether it's the community champion. Mo is an all-star, Hall of Fame, MVP super fan. That's just the damn truth. That's just the damn truth. Fiercely saying at Raptors super fan Mo, can you please travel with the team and bring your good vibes? Yeah. Can we arrange that? Can we get Monique to be going to games and other places to help us? I'm all about that. Maybe Nav can help us out with this. That'd be great. Cool Cat saying, good morning, Raptor Free Crew. We got a W, and I felt we would win after our guys were pissed off. I got a last-minute ticket to witness it. Now we have to start to be consistent. There you go. Cool Cat was down there, too, bringing the good vibes. She has a pretty good win percentage when she goes to game, too. I'm glad you got to go down there and witness that awesome game. So many good highlights, Cool Cat. So many awesome things to see in person. I'm so happy you got down there. And, yeah, we had a feeling. I mean, this is kind of the pattern with them. Everybody who thinks, oh, the Raptors are just going to suck after they have a disappointing loss. Well, you see a win like last night and you're confused. I know you are. So just like let them win and do what they do and just go with it. Just ride with them. Seriously, it's going to be fun. Nako's saying, I don't know if he's married, but Malachi has kids. Malachi has kids? Oh, I didn't even know that. That would make sense, because you know what? In some ways, Malachi is like the kid of like 8 kids himself. His family has a lot of children. Eric Flynn has been busy. And in some ways, if he's like his dad, he's probably going to have like 9 kids himself because that's how many kids Eric Flynn has. He has like 9 kids or something like that. So maybe, I don't know if they're Mormon or there's some sort of weird religion. There's like no birth control. Oh, honey, you're pregnant again. I don't know. If that's the lifestyle the Flynns live, that's fine, whatever. But yeah, okay, that makes sense. I could see Malachi having kids since his dad has like 12. So that makes sense. Let's see. Monique is saying, has anyone noticed this lately about the Raptors? Every loss is almost a blowout, and every Raptors win is almost on the edge of your seat kind of game. That's not totally true, actually, Monique. There's not been very many blowouts involved with the Raptors this season at all. There was a blowout that the Boston Celtics put on us, but that's really the only blowout that's happened to us. Almost all of our games have been competitive and close. And in some ways, the blowouts have been more we're blowing out the other team. And when we play against teams, we just barely lose is kind of where it's at. So it's like sometimes we blow out other teams or we come back from a deficit like Washington and San Antonio. But usually it's a close game when we win or we blow them out. And there's been very few blowouts for us as a loss, like maybe 1 or 2 I can count. There's that Boston one for sure. But the second time we played Boston, it wasn't a blowout for sure. Tupac's here. Good to see Tupac Shakur. Raptors with the W. Told you, Raptors freak. He did. He rose from the grave yesterday right at the end of the stream. And Tupac came in and he said, Raptors going to win tonight. And I was like, man, damn, Tupac's saying that. It must be real then. And damn, for sure it was. Tupac's a real one, man. You better listen to Tupac Shakur. That's right. That's right. Cool Cat saying, Lex, Devin Booker has developed because of Earl Watson, you mean? Earl Watson. You're talking about our old coach, Earl Watson. You said Earl Thomas. He was the one who unlocked him. He worked specifically with him. Well, I'm listen, a lot of coaches touch players in a lot of different ways. And sure, Earl does get a lot of credit with Devin Booker. But the truth is, Darko was an assistant coach with the Suns for a while under Monty Williams, and he had an influence on him also. We can give credit to different people. Earl could maybe get most of the credit, but I'll bet if you go and ask Devin Booker, he would tell you that Darko helped them too. And that's actually been documented. They talked about it in the pregame interview. Kayla Gray asking him, you know Devin very well from your time on the Suns. He said, yes, I do. I do very much know Devin very well. And I'm very, very proud of how he's become a point guard this year. And he's paying really close attention. Darko knows Devin inside out because he worked with him very closely on the Suns. So there's credit for a lot of people. You can't just say it's Earl Watson's completely person. Monty Williams gets some credit here. Darko gets some credit. A lot of different coaches have touched Devin Booker and helped him get better. You could say Rico Hines probably helped him on the down low since he worked so closely with Earl Watson too. So, I mean, I get it. Earl Watson gets a lot of the credit, but where the fuck is Earl Watson at this point? He's not even on a team at this point. He must have really done some fucked up shit with what happened with us last year because he's not on anybody's team this year. It's crazy. But yeah, Darko's very familiar with Devin Booker. He spent some time with him, and he knows him really well. Cowboy's saying, you know it, darling, and Fiercey. You know it. Tupac in the house. Where you been? And Tupac says he's been in Africa. There you go. See, y'all didn't know. He faked his death. He's been in Africa this whole time. He's been living a good life over there. And now that they caught the guy who did it, they're going to take him to jail, and Tupac can come back out and be alive. I'm all about it. I'm glad he's here with us. I'm very honored that Tupac is here. Don't tell Jada he's here. She might be coming in here quick. Let's see. Monique is saying, Fiercely, the last time I traveled was grade 8 graduation, but we took the bus to Niagara Falls. Not by plane, though. I don't travel, period. CP has its ups and downs. Thanks for caring. It'd be awesome and sweet if it was more feasible. I know that Monique, she is very much an advocate for people in wheelchairs that have to fly. I've seen her make posts on her Facebook very much against the airlines who are not very helpful to people like her that try to fly on planes. They're very, very disrespectful as far as like sometimes they try to drag people. There's been a lot of stories in the press recently of really poor sense by airlines and how they deal with people with disabilities that need wheelchairs on planes. In some ways, Monique gets on a plane, she has to worry about her chair getting damaged by people that are helping her on the plane or the plane itself. So, in some ways, sadly, she's not traveling very often. So, it's probably not in. Plus, why would she want to go to the States? Honestly, Mo, you don't need no reason to go down to the United States. Trust me. You really don't. That you're better off on this side of the border. Just trust me. I don't even want to go back to the States myself. And my family lives there, and I don't even want to go back down there ever. So, yeah, it is what it is. Monique goes to the games here in town. And she's got all these games. She's gonna be at Miami next week too. She's gonna be there on Friday night. That's right. Fiercely saying at Cool Cat, Thomas or Watson. She means Watson. I think you're right. He seems to have a good influence on many players. Well, it's a lot of different influences. I'm telling you, Darko has his part in his part in the things that happen with Devin Booker too. You could give more credit to Earl Watson, sure, if you want, but it doesn't change the fact that Devin Booker worked very closely with Darko, and they do know each other very well. In some ways, that may have been part of why Darko really wanted to win last night. I want to beat Devin Booker. I want to take this challenge of somebody that I worked with very closely, and I want to beat him. Sometimes that personal stuff does matter. I love that Darko has relationships with coaches like Popovich, Donovan, Monty Williams, and then also with old teams like the Thunder, the Suns, the Memphis Grizzlies. You know, this is good because he's in the fraternity and the brotherhood of the NBA with people that he worked with in the past. And that makes him more accepted and a bona fide NBA level head coach. Easier than somebody who's just an outsider who just comes in and doesn't know anybody or has no allies. Darko has a lot of allies in this league. You know, there's a lot of respect for him on other teams in other places. So Mo's saying I'm a season seat holder fiercely. That's right. She's got games at all the 41 in the Scotiabank Arena. That's right. Cool Cat saying I keep saying we have our chip trio, Pascal, OG, and Scotty. Front office, I pray keep them together. Don't let other teams poach them. He says he wants to be the Udonis Haslem of the Raptors. I love that. I love that. And somebody said there's an NBA executive that I quoted yesterday saying that if the Raptors want to keep Siakam and Anunoby, they very, very much can. And I believe them. You know, the other NBA people are saying, well, we'll spend that money to keep these guys because they're proven and they work hard. And we've already paid Siakam a shitload of money, and it didn't change his work ethic. It didn't make him just stop working or trying anymore. No, some guys that happens to. You throw a bag at them, and they're like, I made it. I've got my money. I don't give a shit if I play any better. You know, Siakam's not that guy. So he's very smart to invest huge amounts of money in because you're going to get the good return from him no matter what. Trust me, you will. Infamous saying, salute freaks. Great win. It's very simple. Make a majority of your free throws, you win. You can make the argument that we lost the last two games due to free throws. You definitely can, Infamous. You definitely can. The word that I'm saying in those games is convert. Convert. Whether it's free throws that you get that are free, whether it's bunnies near the basket, whether it's open three-pointers, Malachi. Convert. Convert, and we will win. You convert the ball, you make it go through the hoop, we win. Whether it's the free throw line or anything else. Fiercely saying, why is it that whenever someone is injured or doubtful, I tune in and they're playing? It's as if they strive facing us. And Bozo, Porzingis, Tatum, Brown, Durant. So far, all of them this season were. This is an interesting phenomenon. And I wonder about this. Some of it is strategy by the teams we're playing to keep us guessing. In some ways, it could be that they think about Darko preparing for the game. And the difference between preparing for Kevin Durant and not preparing for Kevin Durant is very different. And it could very well be at the last minute, they don't want him to know. Well, this is the way we do it. And this is the way the Raptors did it with Nick Nurse, too. They don't give a shit about the injury report. They're going to go ahead and prepare for Kevin being there. And if he isn't there, well, that makes it easier. So in some ways, they're not looking at that. In some ways, it is the timing of when they show up and stuff like that. In some ways, it is a red herring. In some ways, it is some way to make the team feel, oh, man, we do have to deal with Kevin and get down about it. But I'm going to tell you right now, the team deals with it where they feel like he's going to show up. In some ways, we can be fans and like wish, oh, we want an easier route to beat them without Kevin Durant. But like somebody said in the comments, Alex, last night is like, I want them to face the Phoenix Suns with Kevin Durant because I don't want any of our Raptors nation making excuses or other people around the NBA saying, oh, well, you beat them without Durant. It's much better that he shows up and we beat them full strength because then people can't be making excuses. Oh, you won't beat them if Kevin's there. That's why it's really good he played and we kicked his ass. And I'm glad Alex said that in the comments on yesterday's stream because he's right. We don't want idiots in our fan nation themselves saying, oh, we wouldn't have beat them if Kevin was there. Or we don't want the rest of the NBA thinking that. The way we beat them with Kevin being there, that's way more impressive. And people are starting to wake up and they're like, holy shit, the Raptors lose to the Nets on the first night of back-to-back, and then they beat the Suns. What the hell is this team? Is kind of what people are saying right now. Wayne's saying, I still can't see us not being top 10 games above 500 come spring. Our upside is weighted more than the download, even with our brain farts. Yeah. Yeah. There's just a lot of intelligence about our team right now. And we are just set up to succeed. We just really are. We really, really are. God willing, we have really good health and no crazy shit happen. We will be very successful this year by the end of the year. I'm going to predict that still right now. Fiercely saying doubtful the morning of games. Thanks, Cool Cat. Yeah, it is what it is. That some ways the injury report is a weapon used by teams for misdirection and maybe getting your hopes up and stuff like that. It is what it is. It's good and useful to keep track of. I'm so glad we didn't have to play Grayson Allen last night. He's annoying. He's a pain in the ass. So, at least that happened. Bradley Beal being out, that doesn't hurt either. I mean, in some ways, I think they're worse with Bradley Beal, though. Let's see. Cool Cat saying, for those hating on Pascal saying he's taken away from Scotty, I hope they recognize that he deferred to Scotty last night. That should show he has no ego. He's just a team player, cares for a W only. Yeah, these people are projecting. In some ways, there's a lot of people saying projection is confession. And when people are like saying, oh, Siakam's selfish. No, they're saying they're selfish for Scotty is what they're saying. It's a projection. In some ways, our guys are really all good team players, but Scotty's fan nation is not. They're not team players. They're very selfish and they're idiots, and they're led by that idiot that we talked about earlier. And that's the problem. It's like it's not it's not actually who Scotty is. Scotty's not like his people. He's very much team first himself, and that his people are totally misguided and stupid. And honestly, they're kind of one of the worst parts of our fan nation at this point. They're really diehard Scotty first fans. Some of y'all are idiots, honestly. And we need to have more team fans that are fans of the whole team and not just worried about one individual and what he should get and what he wants. That's the problem with these people. They're only thinking about Scotty and what Scotty this and this. Fuck that. You should be thinking about the Raptors and what Darko needs and what this team needs instead. It really annoys me. Siakam's a team player. OG's a team player. That's why when they said OG was unhappy with his role, I knew it was bullshit because OG is a team player. He's playing within the team, and all he cares about is winning. If he really gave a shit about scoring all the time, yeah, he could score more. He cares about playing defense. Jimmy's saying if we play like we played last night consistently, we can for sure can be 10 games above 500, but consistency is the question. Yeah. And the other thing is it's different teams that we play. Some teams are agitators and very aggressive, like the Sixers and the Celtics. And then some teams are kind of laid back, like the Suns and the Mavs. And that is part of it too. Like in some ways, we got to match that energy of the Philadelphia 76ers when we play them again. They come at us with a real energy that Nick brings with them. And in some ways, that's where we need to show the strides of success and improvement over the season is when we circle back and we play teams like Boston and Philadelphia again, let's beat them this time. And that'll show how much we've came from the beginning of the season when they beat us before. So that's going to be a big part of it right there. Carlos saying, yes, consistency. That is a good, important word. And it was said by a lot of different Raptors in interviews after the game last night. Cool Cat saying, for those haters saying Pascal and Scotty can't play together, how about contribute 20 and 23 points team game? That's right. And let's not even listen to them. Once again, when you hear the voice and what they're saying and what their attitude is, think to yourself, is this somebody I want to continue to read their tweets? Is this somebody I want to continue to listen to their content? Is this somebody that I want to actually continue to hear influences from? Because if you suss out what I said earlier about what their motives are, what they're saying, you can pretty easily figure out who is for and not for the Raptors being successful in the future. And that's what I'm saying. When you start hearing that Siakam versus Barnes shit, cut them out. Don't even give them your attention anymore. Starve them. The more and more of us in Raptors Nation that realizes there's toxic people just putting out nonsense and we tune them out, the more they go away. Let's just put it that way. Infamous is saying, I think even if Koloko becomes available, he's way behind in development, so likely he wouldn't play until next year. Remember, he missed summer league, training camp, and preseason. Yeah, I was telling Stevie Roots on the phone last night. The man has not done anything basketball wise since May. May. That's like 6 months. This dude has not been doing anything, and he is behind. So in some ways, it's like if he does become available, he's not going to be ready to go right away. And it may very well be he needs to spend most of the season in 905 because he needs that to farm up to get ready to be before he comes back to the NBA in some ways. Yeah. Blackhawk saying, you tell him, Cool Cat. That's right. All y'all tell him in those spaces on Twitter with Zazu and the rest. Tell them, Kareem. Tell them, Blackhawk. Tell them, Cool Cat. Tell them. Cool Cat saying, let's pray for Koloko's return this season. We really need him. Then Precious can go back to being a power forward. Yes. Yes. Yes to all that, Cool Cat. Infamous is saying, for people saying two bigs can't play together, look no further than the Timberwolves. They play three bigs. You know what I'm sick of? All these fucking armchair don't know shit about basketball trying to make rules for how you build NBA teams. Oh, you can't have a team with this bad spacing. Oh, you can't have a team with so few shooters. Oh, you can't have a team with two bigs. Who the fuck are you making rules about what you can and can't do in the NBA? This is an NBA. You can do whatever the fuck you want. And you can make any group of guys work together. You just have to be creative enough as a coach to figure out how to get the best out of them as a unit. And lazy people are only like, well, this team doesn't fit. You can't make it work. No bullshit. You can make any team work if you really figure out the right way to play them right. And that's the thing. Y'all are idiots that just throw your hands up. Siakam and Barnes just can't play together. You are liars and you want them to be destroyed because you don't want them to be together because you know how powerful they are. And you're probably a Knicks fan. That's all I have to say to that kind of shit when I hear that noise at this point. They want to break our band up. Well, they're anti-Raptors is what I'll say. Whether they want to break up Masai in the front office, whether they want to break up Siakam and Barnes and Anunoby, you are anti-Raptors when you push that shit online. And I'm going to just call you out for that. And I hope all y'all will too. And say, well, are you really a Raptors fan? Because you don't want good things for the Raptors with what you're saying. That's all you have to say to these idiots. Seriously, that's all you have to say right there. And why are you making rules about what you can do in the NBA? That's bullshit. Rules are meant to be broken. You can have two bigs. Look at the Timberwolves. That's right. Country Kong saying, Lex, I finally understand what you mean about creating spacing with movement. I thought only stretch fives could create space, but Yak was moving so well off of Scotty fourth quarter, maintaining a passing lane. Yeah, they really just got to kind of understand to like the balance and allow for room for people to come in and get it. And I also like I said yesterday, when somebody like OG or one of the other guys, like maybe even Scotty, goes in the lane, but they don't really go up and they kind of give the ball up and then they kick it back around and they reset. And then Siakam re-enters the lane as a second time on that possession. He usually has it more opened up because they all drew through with Scotty or OG. And Siakam has a way easier time scoring in that disrupted lane that somebody already came through in after in the second paint touch. You know, that kind of stuff is really smart and a really, really good way to churn the whole system of the defense of the other team to allow more easier scoring opportunities. It's just movement. These guys got to keep moving. And the more they move and they really are smart and the balance of it, the more easier the shots will be and the spacing will open up. Let's see. David's saying, laugh out loud, Duncan and Robinson. Who are these maniacs? Tim Duncan? David Robinson? David Robinson? What? Country Con saying, Jakob is leading the NBA in field goal percentage. I saw last night, fourth quarter, that also creates space. Nurkic was worried about Scotty passing to a 70% field goal shooter. This allowed space for Scotty to drive and dominate. The success of each other on the team helps the success of the other guys. Whether it's Gary making his threes, makes him more of a threat, that helps everybody. Whether it's Siakam wheeling and dealing with his spins, that helps everybody. When it's Dennis finding people or getting to the basket with speed, That helps everybody. We need success more. It's when we fail on things that we fuck up. Was fail at getting back in defense, fail to get the defensive rebound, so their offensive second chance, whether it's we fail to make open shots. It all adds up to whether the defense of the other team will respect us and whether we will get better offensive outcomes. There's more and more talk about the relationship on how things are done on the defensive end, how they add up to success on the offensive end more than ever with this team right now. That they understand half of the success on offense is generated from playing the good defense and getting back and not allowing easy baskets for the other team. So it all fits in together with each other. It really, really, it really does. Success begets success, and failure begets more failure. And that's why Malachi, make your fucking threes. All right, Fiercey saying if Pascal goes to a team in the USA, trust me, his accolades will all of a sudden come up and he'll get that shine. Yeah, it's kind of what's happening with Fred. Fred's totally marketed different down south now. Now that he's on the Rockets, he's very much more a face of the NBA. And in some ways, they tout that he's an NBA champion a little bit more than when he was playing for us. This is true. Cool Cat saying, and Lex, they don't want to also acknowledge how pivotal Pascal's role in our chip run, either Kawhi or Pascal duo, is in the NBA championship history archives. That's right. And that's why we need to hold on to our championship identity as strongly as possible. And Siakam is the most biggest embodiment of it. Steve was trying to say, well, we got OG too, Lex. And I was like, well, OG didn't play in the playoffs, and neither did Chris. And those two guys were our only two other champions on this team from 2019, but they weren't really contributors. And Nick is gone now too. So our coach isn't even our championship coach anymore. So it really is. Y'all really want to kill the memory of the 2019 NBA champion Raptors? Fucking, that's the people that want to get rid of Siakam. In some ways, you fucking need to respect his connection to our championship and allow him to be here as long as possible. People that hate Siakam so much, I really wonder about you, honestly, because you may not understand just how integral he was to us getting our first ring here in Canada. It really is stupid, honestly. Fiercely saying, Lex, we had that discussion earlier this year. Malika Andrews got criticized for ignoring the Josh Giddey drama. She got pressured by Twitter and apparently ESPN to finally address it. Yeah, I know that Malika Andrews is getting a lot of bullshit again. She gets a lot of bullshit. And a lot of it is just because she's a black woman covering sports and people will attack her because she's a woman. In some ways, they don't like what she's saying because she's a woman. I'm on her side most of the time. And I know she's out of pocket and she was in trouble for some of the things earlier this year. But in most cases, I'm going to be on her side. And also, people got to realize that she is reading from a teleprompter and that a lot of what she's saying on the show is stuff that ESPN is feeding her to say, just so y'all know. Now, I'm not going to wade into this Josh Giddey shit too deeply. I don't care. In some ways, I don't like witch hunts, especially for young NBA players. In some ways, I know that this bullshit is coming from another fan nation and they're trying to hurt them, just like Dolan has a lawsuit against us right now. So there's some people that are trying to destroy the Thunder. And that's part of the reason why they're making a big deal out of this Josh Giddey incident. I'm not saying he's wrong or right for what he did. I'm just saying, know that there's opportunists out there. They're trying to hurt the Thunder like somebody would try and hurt us in this situation. Other fan nations that don't want the Thunder to be good are piling on this. And they're even trying to do shit like some young lady tried to entrap Scotty on social media in a similar situation. They're getting bright ideas on how to do this, and they're trying to get other people hit with this kind of stuff. And it's fucked up. It's really fucked up, the whole thing. Let's see. Fiercely saying, funny how she pushes the agenda against Missoula, Udoka, Brandon Miller, but not Giddey. Word on the internet. I don't know any of this. I'm not paying attention to this. I don't care about ESPN. I'm not going to come after Malika. I'm not going to be critical of her. I don't give a shit about this. In some ways, Josh Giddey's thing that's going on with him is none of my business. Just like Corey Perry in the NHL right now, or whatever the fuck happened there. This stuff I don't care about. Honestly, I like basketball stuff and basketball things and this extra stuff, this circus shit. In some ways, I don't care. Udoka was important because it was Boston and our Atlantic Division rival. But I'm not going to get caught up in ESPN politics or things with Malika Andrews. And a lot of ways, I stand by her. And I think that just the wrong people are coming after her. Then I'm usually going to stand with the right person. And I think that in some ways, I stand with her, even if she's wrong in some ways. She's in a very difficult position and she gets a lot of unnecessary shit that's not fair. And it's not even that I like her or anything. It's just that I understand this situation. In some ways, she's being used as a lightning rod, and it's not fair to her. It's not fair to her. Nameless is saying, David, laughing at David. CountryCon saying, Lex, I used to think you and him could get along and team up to create great content, and I appreciate your openness, but I learned that he only cares about maximizing Scotty's usage. Raptors fans second. Yeah, well, that's going to be a big disagreement. Honestly, it would be really high. It would be very interesting to see us interact because honestly, I kill him. Like I'm very verbose and I'm very quick, and he could say things, and I could counterpoint him and just destroy him like this. Like he wouldn't have a chance with me, dude. Seriously. Like I'd have the right response for anything he'd fucking say, and I make him look like a clown. Like he shouldn't mess with me. I'm a verbal master. I can talk circles around him. And if he tried to come at me or try to do something, if we got on the same stream and we were actually talking to each other, he would be embarrassed. I would embarrass the hell out of him. So in some ways, he don't want none of this smoke. Seriously. If you set it up, I'd still do it because I'd probably relish destroying him verbally in front of everyone. And it would be very, very entertaining for you guys. I know you would love it. You would love it. And if he came to it in person, I'd do it to him in his face in person, not even online. Yeah, somebody would probably want to film it, but yeah, I do it any kind of which way. I could even type faster than him. If we're gonna do it just in a chat and it's back and forth, I'd fucking kill him in there too, because I'm an expert typist and I'm just as verbose in text as I am with my tongue. So yeah, it's not even fair, honestly. I'm a total mismatch for him. I would fucking destroy him just like Scotty would destroy a little guard in the post. And yeah, verbally, I would kill him, especially since we fucking know what his priorities are, especially. Cool Cat saying, Lex, they were pushing Pascal when he was already in the air, the elbow under his ribs. You can hear the slaps on his arms. You see the pull down on his hands. Refs put on blinders. He would have 30 points. No, I'm not disagreeing with any of that. We know Siakam and Anunoby do not get the whistle correctly. We know this. This is how it's been. That's why I know they're that much badasser and better than most people in this league, because they're playing through contact and they're still finishing, or they've learned to not complain anymore and they just keep going in some ways. I mean, that's part of the toughness of playing for Toronto is there is a Canadian tax on you. You are going to get more fouls and you won't get them called and get the line. It's just how it is. Monique is saying, once again, thank you for posting the update on the Raptors versus Miami game. Helped me so much in my rides. You know, Monique, I think they had that other date before because that was the date that if the Raptors had made it to the in-season tournament next round, they would have been playing on that Monday. So it was wishful thinking that they had the 4 printed on there instead of the 6. So I think that's what it was. But I'm glad you got it cleared up and you're all set to go to the game against Miami on Wednesday. Yeah. Trevor J saying New York Knicks going to suffer the same fate tomorrow. We're going to send them back home riding a gypsy cab. All right, on that note, let me just talk about this article that is on ESPN this morning, talking about the rivalry between the Raptors and the Knicks and the unprecedented Knicks and Raptors lawsuit. Several legal experts have described it as a first of its kind legal war between 2 NBA teams that can be traced back to August 17th of 2023. You know, listen, James Dolan has a grudge against Adam Silver and Larry Tannenbaum right now. I feel like they set us up, that Azotam was very much a patsy, that the Knicks very much orchestrated this shit to happen, to allow for this to happen, to try and cause a distraction. And it's just a very punitive kind of just petty bullshit. And in some ways, it has no merit. That the fact that they know it doesn't have any merit, that's why they want it in a public court, because they know Adam Silver will just be like, this is stupid. We're going to settle this and you're dumb. And like, honestly, there's even this article, they're talking about how Masai at the George Stroumboulopoulos show that I was in attendance at in person way long time ago. He said on that show when the Knicks were asking the Masai to come and work with Phil Jackson at that time for the Knicks, he said, I hate the Knicks. And I will never work for them. I was like, fuck the Knicks. He's like, I hate the Knicks and I don't really care, is what he said that day. And I clapped about that in person. When I heard my guy Masai say in person in 2014 that I would never work for the Knicks and I hate the Knicks. And well, The Knicks hate us, obviously. And James Dolan and his stupid lawsuit, it's kind of going to be around the trimmings of this game. In some ways, I want the Raptors to go out there and kick the Knicks' ass just because of this frivolous ass Azatam lawsuit. Most of the experts are saying that this thing has no merit. That honestly, in some ways, Dolan's just going to look like an idiot by the end of this. That most of them are like, he can't prove certain things to get this litigiousness through in a way that it'll make sense to get anything. So in some ways, it's all hot air and a distraction. And a lot of people are laughing at it, and they think James Dolan's an idiot. They're saying that this lawsuit is so frivolous. And most legal experts say that the Raptors really don't have a whole lot to worry about. So once again, this is going to come up in the next couple of days because we're playing the Knicks for the first time this season. And understand and know the facts on this. That I know there's entrapment. That the Knicks set this up to try and have this happening. It's very specific. And we're going to be exonerated by the end of this. I don't care if it goes into public court or whatever. Adam Silver is pissed at James Dolan. And if anything, he made himself even more of an outsider in the NBA with this whole thing that happened. So, yeah, it's not a bad thing for us. It sounds bad in the press, and casuals will hear, oh, the Raptors are in trouble with the Knicks, and they'll think it's a really bad thing, and they may get Chicken Little about it. But there really isn't anything to be totally worried about this. It's very, very stupid. And when the thing gets ended, it's going to be really funny at the end of it. It's going to be really funny. Everybody's going to be like, wow, and this is what happened. It's really what's going to happen, guys. I'm going to see that. Cool Cat saying, being at games and seeing those fouls upset me more than anything. I know, I get it. I'm with you. You're a diehard and you don't like unfairness. Everybody wants things to be fair in this world. And when you know things are unfair, you get mad. Well, in some ways, that's why we need to be big bullies and be badasses and overcome it all and write the story and write our own story of heroism, overcoming the challenges. That's just what movies are. Unfair for somebody in the movie, the protagonist, and they overcome the challenges and win in the end. That's what we got to do. We got to write that movie script, Cool Cat. Monique is saying, W stream, W game, keep at it always. Good times, go Raptors. Let's keep climbing. Raptor Freak Crew strong. What a time. That's right, Monique, and thank you for that cutoff. Kenrick's here. Good to see Kenrick Chronic Art. James, if y'all need a tattoo or you need some art commissioned in the Toronto area, Kenrick's your guy. Find him on Facebook, Kenrick Chronic Art James. He commissioned him for a tattoo. You can come in and get you a good Raptors tattoo if you want one. So definitely look for Kenrick if you need those things. We're trying to get back to the style of play we had under Dwayne Casey, starting five, all 10 plus points, and competitive 5 to 7 man bench. We were top of the East before Nick Nurse and Kawhi. I like that. That's an interesting parallel you're bringing to like old Casey days and how things are going. There is a very good balance between our starting five, and I like it. We're like one of the only leagues and the teams in the league that has nobody scoring over 20 right now. There's a couple of guys that are averaging 19 points and just below 20 points per game. And it's like Scotty, Pascal, those guys. So, yeah, we can get them their uptick, and we need somebody that's scoring, averaging about 20 points a game. One of these guys, either Scotty or Pascal, needs to uptick and get over the 20-point mark. That's an interesting parallel, Kenrick. I won't disagree with it. I can see it to a degree. Trevor's saying, if you have a car, try Uber. Each delivery or DoorDash delivery, you will make some good money. Okay, he's saying the mischief. He does have a car. I remember he had a car when he came to our Raptor Freak hangout. So I don't know. Maybe Trevor's got good advice for mischief. Maybe you do DoorDash or Uber Eats for a little bit. Carlos saying, great story, Lex. Wow. I'm not even sure which story I was telling you at that time, Carlo. I'll tell you guys stories all the time. I got crazy stories, personal stories about my life, or some of them crazy. I've lived some lives. Let's just put it that way. Most saying the 4 dates off in between games, Raptors versus Miami. Raptors need the break. This is really good, actually. It sucks that we had to play the game last night because it's like we're right back and they didn't really get a chance to be home and rest, but we won anyway. And that's great because now the Raptors are here in Toronto from coming back from Brooklyn yesterday all the way until they go to Charlotte on Friday, not tomorrow, a week from tomorrow. So they really get to sit at home for 10 days, the next 10 days. And 4 of these days, they don't have any games from Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, from Friday night till next Wednesday. So this is a really good recharge practice week, get a lot of time down at OVO, a lot more reorienting. Maybe there's some stuff that Darko can do with the guys a bit. There's more family time to be around your family and be here in Toronto and just comfortable. No travel. Toronto, they're back from Barclay yesterday, and they don't have to leave again until they got to go to Charlotte on Thursday of next week, a week from today. So these guys got to get a full week here in Toronto to rest, recalibrate, practice, work on stuff, reconnect with the family, more content from the Schroeders on YouTube, all that kind of stuff coming up in the next week. And on this channel, since we don't have games from Saturday all the way until Wednesday, we're going to be doing our off-season schedule. There'll be a Sunday special report this Sunday, Monday moment, Tuesday trivia, all this coming up week. So I'm at the GOAT. You better show up, Fiercely Salsera. Tuesday trivia this week, Sunday report, Monday moment, off-season schedule is going on this weekend for a bit. There you go. Let's see. Nameless is saying, I'd like for Monique to attend a game with Nav. I know that Nav and Monique have interacted with each other and they know of each other. I don't know. That'd be cool. I mean, it'd be awesome to see Mo underneath the basket over there with Nav. That would be a very cool spot to sit. We've sat in a similar place when Tom was in town, kind of at the other end. Blackhawk saying Magic game was a blowout too. Yeah, that Magic game was a blowout. So Boston and Orlando were blowouts. Yeah, those were maybe the only two. Carlos saying Tupac and Rodman getting flashbacks from my teens. And Carlos saying Magic is just using our long boy vision with lottery picks. Haha. Oh, you're talking about the story about me when I met Pirtle. Yeah, that was cool when I met Pirtle. I'm like 6'4", and that dude was like a whole lot taller than me. It was kind of cool. Yeah, he's an awesome guy. He has really good energy. And it's weird that I met him the first time he was on the Raptors when he wore number 42. And then he went away to the Spurs for a long time. And then he came back and he's back on our team again. So that picture of me with Pirtle is really awesome to have still from when he was just in his second year in the NBA. Let's see. Monique saying, Nameless, I see Nav so much. Yeah, she sees him all the time. That's just a super fans hobnob. They rub shoulders together. That's just how it goes. You know, she sees Drake too. She's got some nice pictures of her with Drake also. And so Monique is known to Drake also very much. Nameless has got the party favors out. And Mo's saying, where Nav's, there's no wheelchair section there. I'm at 116A, Nameless. Yeah, she's normally at 116A for the games, which is a really good section. It's just kind of behind the Raptors bench and the 100 level, not too far over, near the entrance where they come out is where she is usually. Nameless saying, I wish you shared some of his spotlight. Who are you talking about, Nameless? I don't even know. Let's see. Mo is saying, I'm getting more media spotlight. She is. There's things in the works. Like she has stuff going on that we don't know about yet that's going to be coming out in the near future, I'm sure. She kind of told me that the other day. She's like, I have something coming up, Lex. I can't tell y'all. She's usually got something going. Trust me. She usually does. Name is saying, you deserve to be very well known. Your commitment to the team is outstanding. She is. And that's why we put her on blast here. And seriously, she's one of our leaders for this Raptor Freak family. And honestly, her excellence and the way she gets more notoriety as being a super fan for the Raptors, the better. Honestly, I'm with you on that. Shaq saying, these idiots need to move on. Masai ain't trading or letting Pascal or OG go. Start trolling Chicago, Detroit, Washington, or Memphis. Trade Ja, Zach, DeMar, Poole, or Cade, etc. Leave the fucking team out of your mouth. Well, this is a symbol that we are dangerous to them. In some ways, all the craziness around our team is because these teams are scared of us. And this is the way they have to try and fight the fight in the information propaganda war, just like left and right wing politics stuff. You know, it's the same shit. It's the same kind of use of techniques that they use in politics today. Misinformation, confusion, send right-wing people into left-wing spaces and make them act like they're left-wing people, but they're subversive and they say really crazy shit. And they try and change tide of opinion from the inside. It's a playbook used in politics heavily right now. And people in sports are using that same the same kind of playbook in sports circles also. Is very much a part of it. Let's see. Seymour saying, Mo, I see you as the real super fan over Nav. Love you, Mo. Yeah, I mean, listen, there's a lot of room for a lot of super fans. There's super fans for all the different teams. There's all kinds of different kinds of super fans. You know, you got a global ambassador. You got Nav, who's just like a crazy super fan that is really bona fide across the league and has been to every single game for the Raptors. You got Monique, who's a really a spirit and a character super fan who's been very much there for them for a long, long time. Also, you know, we're all different super fans. I consider myself a super fan. I mean, I'm crazy. I fucking get up and do the stream every fucking day. In some ways, that's very super fandom. You know, a lot of y'all are super fans also because you are really diehard fans that come a lot to the games and support them in very, very good ways. So it's a big tribe, and the term super fan is applicable to a lot of different kinds of fans, and some of them are known and some of them are not. There are super fans out there that nobody knows about that are absolutely crazy ass super fans. Let's see. Stargate saying BS Lex. With all due respect, Malika Andrews is anti-black men point blank. Has nothing to do with her being a woman whatsoever. Other black women are her biggest critics. You're wrong on this one. Well, I'm not educated on this, and once again, I'm gonna say I don't give a shit about the Malika Andrews BS. It has nothing to do with us, and I'm not educated on it. I don't know what she said. I don't know what's going on with Josh Giddey. I don't give a fuck. I don't watch ESPN. So in some ways, I'm not espousing anything on anything I'm knowledgeable of. So don't listen to me on this because I don't know what she said. I don't care. In some ways, that's the tabloid BS that I don't really give a shit about in this league. If Josh Giddey did something wrong, he's going to get in trouble for it. In some ways, the ESPN heads and what they say and their controversies, they're not things I want to cover on here. I don't give a shit about Shaden Sharp. I don't give a shit about Stephen A. Smith. I don't give a shit about Skip Bayless. I don't give a shit about any of those motherfuckers on ESPN. And you guys have said this to me before about her. In some ways, I stand up for her just because a lot of people are coming after her. And I don't feel like that's totally right in some ways. I may be wrong in this case, but I don't care. I don't care so much that I don't even care to inform myself on this thing. So you're probably right. I don't know what I'm talking about. And maybe I'm talking on my ass when it comes to her in this situation. But once again, I don't care. I'm not going to further espouse on it anymore. I don't even care about going to investigate it or learn about it. In some ways, we don't need to talk about her. She has nothing to do with Raptors Nation and what we're doing here. Let's see. Infamous saying Malika is only black in color. As only as a black man, I find her very insulting. Yeah, I don't know what she's saying. In some ways, maybe I will go and look at it just because y'all are really upset about it or something like that. In some ways, I'm talking on my ass, and I don't have an opinion on this that I really care about. If she's wrong in what she said, I'll maybe watch it and I'll be like, oh yeah, that's messed up or something like that. You're wondering why she's not going after Josh Giddey like she's gone after black men in the same situation in the past. Is that what it is? I mean, I don't totally get what the gripe is with her. I really don't. I mean, listen, you guys want me to say she's a horrible person? I'll say she's a horrible person. I don't care. But in some ways, also, I'm like, why are so many people coming after her? And I'm like, why? Why did they do this to her? Stargate saying whether it's ESPN using her as a puppet or not, she has been way, way out of pocket when it comes to views on black male athletes, not one or two times, but numerous times with respect. All right. Now, there is one area where I will say this. If she's not treating the Josh Giddey situation the same as she would somebody else because he's white, then yeah, that's something wrong. That's very, very wrong. Now, I will say this, though. There's a problem in sports in general with misogyny and men acting wrong towards women and beating them up and treating them poorly, whether they're black or white. I don't give a shit which color they are. I'm not looking at color in this. And if she's a proponent that fights against those kind of violent people and things like that, I'm for her. Because in some ways, women need to be respected and treated better. Now, if she's picking color as when she chooses to do that, then that is wrong. And you guys are exactly right. But in some ways, I will stand beside a woman in sports media that is standing up for women and women's issues on certain things, even if it drives people crazy or it makes people mad because men look like pigs or wrong for what they did. You know, there's an abuse case, and she's talking about Brandon Miller. Which ones are the ones you guys brought up? Was Brandon Miller and who are the other ones? You guys brought up a couple people. I think it's rightfully so to look into these issues because in some ways the NBA should be under fire for allowing Miles Bridges to still play right now. It really should. And if she's a woman's voice on TV, she can use it for that. Now, if she's looking color based on this, then that is a problem. Y'all are exactly right. And maybe it is something gross, like ESPN is racist and they're using a black woman to put down black men. Like, seriously, that may be part of it also. Just like we say Roger Sportsnet ordains some of the things that their personalities and people say on their shows. Don't get it twisted. ESPN could be keeping some sort of white supremacy kind of bullshit on the down low, and they're using her as a puppet for pushing this kind of shit. I mean, I look at things with my eyes wide open on this. I'm not a huge fan of hers. I don't really care about her at all. I do care about women being respected and not abused, though. That is part of it right there. But yeah, if she's picking it by color, then okay, you guys are right. She's wrong. Let's see. All right, let's get back. And I see that idiot's little emblem there. And I don't know why you guys keep talking about him. I don't want to talk about him. All right, let's see. Hang on. Where was I? Jumped ahead. No more comments. I'm at 3 hours. I'll go up to like 4 hours, and that's fine. Okay, I think I actually went too far back. Let me make sure where I'm at. Sorry, I'm taking so long. Yeah, all right, there it is. Nameless is saying, idiot wouldn't get in the ring with you, bro. It'd be funny. Like, I probably do have a size advantage on him. Like, if I played him in basketball, I'd kick his ass. I think if I got in a fist fight with him, I'd kick his ass. I think if it's a mental, intelligence competition, I'd kick his ass. I think I beat him in anything, honestly. Pensera, you fucking try anything against me, I'll beat your ass in it. I don't care. Foot race, I'll beat you in a race too. Outrun you too. Fiercely saying at Stargate, right on. That was my point as we had this discussion earlier, and I think Lex forgot about it. I just wanted to bring another instance in which she was anti-black. Okay, I don't agree with that. If she's doing that kind of stuff, and I don't watch ESPN, I really don't like ESPN, and I don't really, I don't think about these kind of things at all. Like other people are getting caught up in ESPN dramas, and I don't care. That's ESPN, NBA, USA media, stupid shit. In some ways, but if she's being like that, I'll stand with you guys. Like I see, I get confused. There's different issues here. You're talking about race, or you're talking about gender issues. It depends on what you're looking at on this situation. Seymour saying they're saying Giddy is suing the nightclub he met, or blaming the club now, and Bogut is blaming the young girl, saying she lied about her age. Shaking my head. What a Giddy down situation. Yeah, I don't care about any of that. If Giddy gets in trouble, he loses his career, so be it. I'm not a Giddy fan to the point where I'd be upset about that. And I'm not like some of the people with the torches coming to get him either. I'm neutral on this. If his career goes south and he loses his career, well, that's what was supposed to happen. And in some ways, I don't give a shit. I really don't give a shit about this whole thing with Giddy. In some ways, I can see where it could be entrapment, though. But in some ways, it's like, yeah, the nightclub should have checked IDs. Maybe they are in trouble a little bit. But, Josh Giddy, maybe you shouldn't be fucking around with such young girls either. Let's put it that way. Nameless is saying, idiot only gets in the ring with people he can manipulate. So he blocked you so fast. No, if I came in there, I haven't even tried to go into a space. Because honestly, once again, I will say this. The most powerful thing is to not give attention to things and give them power. Just don't give them power. I don't give power to ESPN. I don't give power to Pensera. I don't give power to these things. And I kind of hate that y'all brought him up today, Nameless. Don't fucking do that again, all right? I really mean it, that he should not be named. And also, we shouldn't talk about him, especially on a day of a victory, Nameless. So I'm going to say, fuck you, Nameless, for bringing him up and bringing him in here. And I'm going to say another thing, too. Maybe we don't need to be talking about ESPN heads either. I don't have time to waste with shit that I don't give a fuck about. How about that? I'm on this stream already 3 hours. I don't want to talk about Robert. I don't want to talk about Malika. I don't give a shit about them. Let's see. Seymour saying Malika don't like black men. It's 100% proven. Well, she's got a bias and she's racist. That's fucked up. Seymour saying she hugged Jalen Rose and called rapes, saying he tried to grab her breast. He's like 6'7", long, big figures. Oh my God. I don't know. I don't even want to get into this shit. Seymour, some ways the stuff you share with me on TikTok through the messages, I don't care about any of that shit. It's all garbage crap, a lot of it, Seymour. Some of it's interesting, like the stuff you brought me about Rasheed Wallace and other people and different things that have been brought to me recently. That's good. But a lot of some of the stuff, like the Scott Foster stuff was good too that you brought me. But some of the tabloid trashy shit, I don't really need to know about that. I don't give a shit about Josh Giddey or ESPN scandals. I've said that a couple times. Let's see. Fiercely saying, I don't care about ESPN either. It's the messenger and shedding a negative light on specific people. OKC can deal with that dumpster fire. There you go. There you go. Yeah, I don't give it attention. Seymour saying she went off on Boston Celtics old coach and she went off on Brandon Miller at the draft. She needs to go to hockey point blank, period. I don't know if she does hockey at all. Shaq Lindsay saying if we only had a backup point guard like Malcolm or Tyus Jones, we would be really good. I'm starting to think that they're going to make a small move with Chris due to his lack of playing. I don't think it'll be Chris. I think there's going to be a move. It's just we got to wait and be patient. It's coming. It's coming. Fiercey's rooting for Monique. And Shaq Lindsay saying also getting Chris off the books would free up money for your 3 free agents. Fuck that, Shaq Lindsay. Fuck that. He's a champion. He's a Canadian. We keep him. I'm not trying to free up money to get rid of our Dennis Rodman, player off the bench. No, Shaq Lindsay, what did I just say? We got to protect our champions. And OG, Chris, and Pascal are no trade people as far as I'm concerned. Infamous saying, I'm disappointed, Lex. When a woman, you refuse to call it out because it's a woman, man or woman, or need to be called out. I keep equal energy for both. Malika has done some very destructive things. Listen, I don't know. Once again, y'all, don't fucking get mad at me because I'm not educated on this opinion. I don't care. And I don't have a strong opinion on this. Y'all are right, okay? I don't care. I really don't give a fuck. In some ways, I've defended her because in some ways I feel like people should defend her sometimes because it seems like there's a lot of people coming after her, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I don't care. I've not watched a single hour of ESPN programming in probably 20 years, y'all. I don't watch that bullshit down there. I'm not familiar with her in a way that it matters. So seriously, listen, I'm uneducated and I'll say it. Don't listen to me on this subject because I don't know what she said. And if she's showing an anti-blackness, I'll agree with you guys that that's wrong. Okay. Because like, honestly, I don't give a shit about that. Let's see. Jimmy's saying Lex the GOAT, only raps content creator I actively watch other than Chev. Chev's my guy. There you go, Jimmy. Love you guys. And I appreciate that I'm in that company like that. Stargate, I appreciate you retracting it. Listen, I love you guys. And listen, y'all educate me just as much as I educate y'all. And on this subject, I'm not educated enough to make a good opinion. In some ways, I'll stand up for her blindly just because I know she stands up for women. But if she's not, she's being racist about it, then I don't stand with her, obviously. Let's see. Greg's here. Gubstown Clinkson at 9:05 home game versus Gogo. Diallo didn't like a non-call and yelled a blatantly misogynist comment at a female ref. There was no tech in front of my daughter and young fans. For that, Diallo can stay off my teams. This is what I'm talking about. In some ways, this is important. You know, part of having refs that are female in the NBA is to get young men to respect women better and conditioned to do that better as they grow up. We've lived in a misogynist society for a long, long time. And in some ways, that's part of why I have a sensitivity to things with Malika. But also, look at Greg talking about this, that a referee in the game of the 905 game the other day was yelled a misogynist slur, which we can only guess what it was. There's probably a couple different ones it could have been in front of Greg's daughter, and there was no repercussions. It's almost like the ref's just supposed to take it. In some ways, we got to fight that battle for women also in some ways. And that's what I'm talking about right there. Let's see. Infamous is saying, Lex, you can't have a gender bias, man or women. We need to keep the same energy. All I ask is that you call them out equally respectful. Men are abused as well. All right, listen. Infamous, I'm going to set you straight for a second. All right, just as much as like I don't need somebody protecting me as a white man, as much as some people of color over the years has been maligned and treated badly, men do not need protecting from women in this way, in the same equality. No, because the history of things is that certain people were pushed down and treated poorly and has a way more weighted against them thing. People of color, people that come from other countries. This is true. Women in the same way against men. Men are not anybody who's like a scared man, like a Jordan Peterson follower that's like, oh, men are under attack. You will not be cool with me on this because men are not under attack. I'm a white male and I do not feel like I'm under attack. People are always trying to say, oh, white men are under attack from all different angles. It's bullshit. It is bullshit. We've ran this world for most of this time and we're still kind of running it. And fucking the bullshit is that kind of idea of equality as far as like, oh, it's not like that. There's been an indifference for historic of women being pushed down and not equal to men. And that's why, in some ways, you don't understand how equality with women would look because it's never happened. And just because they're coming up to get more equal rights with us, just like people of color with white people, it is seen as something like, oh, this is like, oh, this is wrong. No, don't get it twisted. There's no equality between men and women still. There's a gender difference. And you can't be like this, bro. If you think you're under attack as a man in today's society, that's bullshit. We are not. We are not. It's just there's a couple of men in power that make you want to feel that and afraid of people that are like talking about this. So it's bullshit. I'm telling you right now, I equally respect both genders, but realize historically, one gender has been pushed down and given the shaft for a long, long time. So in some ways, your idea of what equilibrium and equal is fucked because it's not equal. It's not equal. It's never been equal. And it's the same damn shit if you look at color, whether you look at gender. It's the same thing. In some ways, yeah, you want to bring up black people to the same level as white people. White people may say, well, oh my gosh, that's wrong. You're attacking me. No, we just want them to have the same equality as you white people. That's all they want. It's like, oh, no, 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 I have to have somebody below me. No, this is wrong. You're attacking me. No, we just want to elevate them to the same level as you. Is that wrong? It's the same thing. Just apply it to gender. If you can see it in the colorway, you can see it in the way with women and men. It's just that simple. Now, you once again, nobody has to agree with me 100% on every single thing that I talk about on here. It's just you got to realize that it works the same way as with race, as with gender, and that there's never been full equality for women in this world. They're still paid less than us. They're still looked down on certain ways. There's still rampant misogyny. So you got to think about that. Misogyny and racism are very similar and they run in the same way. And if you're a misogynist against women, in some ways, it's just as bad as being a racist against black people. So you got to check yourself here, man. You got to check yourself on that at least. It's not equal. And look, I will be a little bit more biased in helping women to prop them up to the equal level with men. Because in some ways, people are telling you out there that no, this is like this, and it's Jordan Peterson bullshit. Men are under attack. Men are under attack. That's such bullshit. That is such bullshit. All we want is the same equal standing. For women, for people of color, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Let's see. Nameless is saying there's no such thing as race, y'all. In fact, there's no such thing physical reality at all. He's smoking some good shit. No way, he quit. He's off the stuff, and now he's thinking even crazier. Let's see. Infamous saying, can't say you care about women, and women was potential taken advantage in the Goody situation. Listen, I'm gonna tell you this right now. That woman was not taken advantage of in a way. She was totally compliant with that. It's only the legality of her age that's the issue here. She was very happy with what she did, and she knew exactly what she was doing. It's in some ways we can say, yeah, she's a victim because of her age and she can't give consent, but it's not like he raped her. Come on, don't act like that. You know he didn't. You know he did not rape that woman. In fact, she may have been like trying to do this to entrap him to some ways. She may have been an azotam, just for all we know. I don't know for sure, and I may be talking out of my ass, but I'm just saying. Jimmy's saying, have a great day, y'all. Go raptorize your day and get done what you got to get done. Cream of the crop, baby. Woo! I love it. There you go, Jimmy Pope. Yeah? Huh? PS Shooter saying, infamous, we got to sit this one out. Laugh out loud. Yeah, I mean, either way, we're going to differ on some stuff. Gender issues I treat very similar to racial issues. And you guys can say, oh, there's no color, there's no difference in genders, but that's bullshit. Because throughout history, both people of color and women have been pushed down and discriminated against. And the way it looks, equality looks, it looks like y'all are under attack, but that's not what it is. It's just we're bringing them up to the same level where they should have been the whole time. And people start getting all like insecure. Oh no, now these black people are the same thing as white people. Oh no, I don't have somebody to put below me to make myself feel better. That's the same exercise that men do with women. They need to have somebody to look down on. In some ways, y'all need to do some inward looking and think about this issue in some ways and just be honest with yourself. You don't have to agree with me or don't do this if you don't want to. But every single person in this world can look at themselves and how they look at gender issues and racial issues and see if they have some blind spots on whether they're not totally, being supportive on those issues. And sometimes people that have really good vision on racial issues do not have good vision on gender issues and do not totally understand them.
And sometimes it has to do with whether they're a man or a woman. Sometimes it has to do with whether they're white or black. It really does have to do with that kind of stuff. Yeah. Let's see. Wayne's saying, "What did I miss? Took a shower and the topic gets feisty. Damn, what I just heard. I got your back, Lexicon." It is what it is. And like I said, we don't have to agree on anything. The only thing we got to agree on is that we love the Raptors and we're passionate to see them win. Politically, we can be complete opposites. And if you enjoy listening to me either way, at least maybe we get a good views of all sides of things at the same time. Infamous is saying men are taken advantage of in the legal system every day. I respectively disagree. And as a black man, I'm very insulted by comparing racism with gender. Have a good day. And you're agreed too. Well, in some ways, that's a blind spot for you guys. In some ways, it's very different. Sure, there's a little bit more privilege for a white woman, but you guys got to realize that the mechanisms in society that cause discrimination work against gender just like they work against race too. And it's different. It is different. And it is different in certain ways. And I apologize if I've insulted y'all, but you got to realize that the mechanisms are similar in certain ways. And you don't, if you want to have a blind spot to this, that's fine. It's fine. I don't need to wake you up on that. But in some ways, we got to realize when we're not being totally the same on both things. Because it's if we want equality for everyone, we need to mean it, is what I'm saying. If we want equality for everyone, we need to mean it. And that means across gender too. All right, guys. I know there's a little feisty ending to this things. And listen, I love you guys. I hope you guys won't leave this channel just because of a little bit of a political disagreement at this end. I will say, I will denounce Malika Andrews for being anti-black men. I'll say it right now. And I'm not a fan of hers. I just saying, in some ways, I see some of the people that get mad at her are some of the people that I'm like, these aren't good people. I start to get on that person's side, is kind of what I see. But I didn't investigate deep enough to really have an educated opinion on the Josh Giddey stuff, guys. So I apologize. I cover a lot of shit on this channel, and that's why I have to be selective about what I'm actually going and looking at. And some stuff I don't really feel like is important to our channel, I won't go and investigate and talk about it. So I apologize. I'm not educated on Malika Andrews or Josh Giddey in this situation right now, and y'all are more than me. So that's it right there. Wayne saying, no apologies, Lex. There's nuances at play. I agree with the lexicon, agrees. It's just, listen, we can all be a little bit more understanding of the differences of all of us. And it doesn't have to always just do with race or gender. It can be all kinds of different differences. There's ableism also. There's things about different things that we need. If we need equality, we need equality for disabled people also. So there's a lot of spots that some of us may be blind to that we may need to get more in tune to. We can all improve as people and making people more equality and propped up in this world that have not gotten it in the past. And there's a lot of different areas there. Jimmy saying all good, Lex. All right. I appreciate that, guys. Seriously, I don't want anybody to be mad at me. Seriously. W Stream Lex. Thanks, Fiercey. And Blackhawk saying, I'm black and I am not insulted by talking about racism versus gender. Both exist and there is not a contest. We just have to do better. Exactly. There's a very good voice of reason from Neil. And I'm not trying to say any of you guys are misogynists or chauvinists. I don't care. In some ways, I love you guys. And I just want you guys to be who you are. I just want to make the eyes open just in case. Who knows? And you don't have to change. You don't have to do anything with how you see women or anything like that. Just be you. I accept you for who you are. That's all that matters. Yeah. And Fiercely saying, just pointing out something we had already discussed and shed a light on the person. Yeah. I mean, honestly, let's not bring up Malika anymore because unless she's talking about the Raptors, let's not bring her up. She's a lightning rod and she is very divisive. And then obviously Pensair, don't fucking bring him up in here anymore, nameless. Seriously. Don't even start that shit on this channel. Seriously. I don't want to do it. Seymour saying we are all Raptors freaks and we are here for one another. Whether we agree or disagree, we're all Raptors freaks. Love you all. There you go. I appreciate that. It's all good, Lex. Thank you, Monique. Seriously. We're all as a society, we could get better and better at being a more inclusive society that allows opportunities equally for everyone across all spectrums. That's all I'll end it on. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching me today. My 5 stars of the game last night are Scotty Barnes, Yaka Pirtle, OG Ananobi, Precious Achua, and Scotty Barnes. Yaka Pirtle said this after the game, and I'll do it in Austrian. Mit einem 112-105 Heimsieg bindem wir die Siegerissen der Phoenix Suns. Wir haben gut werden an vielen Gegengriff Pontig, Irsig, Hublug, we're dem defensive rebound problem hatten. I gotta read it in Austrian. Oh yeah, and then the Instagram stories, real quick. Scotty has the highlights of him being everywhere according to the score on the court, him getting steals and coming back and getting all kinds of good stuff happening. And then he's got more highlights and other things, just good stuff on there. I won't even do the Raptors Instagram check. It's mostly like Dennis and him highlighting their highlights from the game last night, which were awesome. If you have a Raptors Yahoo fantasy team, make sure you set up your lineup for it this week. It's going to be good stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Fiercely saying, well, problem solved. She'll never talk about us again. She probably won't talk about us again. Was that perfect pronunciation? I don't think so. I think that's horrible Austrian. I would think Arnold would probably laugh at me if Arnold Schwarzenegger heard me speaking Jakob's Austrian. Let's go, Lex. Let's go, Raptors. All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all. Tomorrow we'll have the preview for the New York game Friday night. Let's beat the Knicks. This is personal. They got a lawsuit with us, and we need to beat their ass. We really do. Jimmy's saying sarcasm. Okay, that was sarcasm. Yeah, that was really bad pronouncing. Like I maybe need Dana Carvey to come and give me that Austrian like pronunciation lesson from Hans and Franz from Saturday Night Live or something. I don't know. All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all. I apologize if I ruffled any feathers today. Honestly, it's not that important to me. We can all have different opinions and we can perfectly coexist. I appreciate y'all. And that's one of the things we need to all get better at is being okay with people having different opinions than each other and coexisting. There's not enough of that going on right now. Too many people going in different places away from each other when it's not like that. All right, y'all. I appreciate every single one of y'all. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I'll be back tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. tomorrow morning. Stargate saying exactly at Black Hawk, but at the same time, you can't compare the black struggle with the women's rights struggle. It's not the same. Both should fight for rights, but it's not the same. I'll agree with this. It's very different. And there's a lot of differences. But in some ways, it's not a contest. Let's just say that they're both issues and they both have very rich histories of suffrage and civil rights movements and stuff like that that are very important in getting different gains for both the groups. In some ways, women that are black they can understand both sides of it, I'm sure, more than anyone. And in some ways, yeah, that it's just we want to help everybody be more progressive and allow for everybody to have the right equal opportunities. That's basically all we want here. We're all the same on this. All the best, guys. Seymour saying I'm watching at 1.25. I'm 2 hours behind. As always, I tell people if you do not watch me live, watch me at 1.5 speed. The time will go by much faster and you can understand me. And actually, I'm pretty funny at very high speed because I'm very fast micro machines talker. All right, y'all, I love you guys. And let's go Raptors. Let's keep it on perspective and let's just cheer our team on.